and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning?
RV wins!
Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast?
RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
Woo!
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
As we all live longer, age is really just a number, but retirement is so much more than one. Edward Jones Financial Advisors want to know what you want out of your retirement so we can help you get there. Together, we can look at the big picture and make a strategy to help you reach your goals. Because you can't prepare for the unexpected if you don't know where you're headed. Call your local Edward Jones office to schedule an appointment today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
In Baton Rouge, call Kelly Lestraps. In Prairieville, call David Commander. And in Gonzales, call Gene Fremo.
Hot summer savings on Michelin tires are here at Shawville's Tire and Auto Service. From May 15th through June 17th, get up to $60 back by mail when you buy a set of 4 select Michelin tires. And get free installation, a $118 value when you use your Shawville's credit card. Visit Shawville'sTire.com to shop Michelin tires and for complete offer details. Shawville's, we keep you rolling. Offer valid May 15th through June 17th. Void where prohibited, subject to credit approval.
Hey, Louisiana sports fans, heads up. Right now, lawmakers in Baton Rouge are running a trick play. They're trying to push through a tax hike that hits sports fans and local businesses. That's right, they want to make sports betting more expensive for you and your fellow sports fans. So time out. Tell your representatives no to a tax hike on Louisiana sports fans. Visit betonla.org. Paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance.
Are you a diesel or gas technician who knows how to put the customer first? Would you like to work with a great team, get great benefits, make great money, and have every weekend off? Then TRICARE Automotive wants to talk to you. Go to TRICAREautomotive.com now.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Tuesday, May 20th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 90. In hour one of today's show, we'll discuss LSU President William Tate resigning, and we will try to solve a unique mystery here at Guarantee Media. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
Yo, and welcome in to OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, 94.7 in Alexandria, 11:30 a.m. The Tiger up in the Port City. Jake, Alondra, and Tay here with you on a Tuesday morning. Boy, do we have a crime to solve. We'll get there here in a couple of minutes. We do have another big show laid out for you here in hour number one. Chris Blair, the voice of the LSU Tigers, will join us. Chris Phillips. It is Tuesday, so Nick Underhill, New Orleans Football, will join us in hour number 3. But before we get there, Alondra, Tay, how we doing? How we feeling?
Feeling good. A little perplexed by what we're about to talk about. Hearing a little bit this mystery that, unfortunately, I discovered.
Yeah.
But
you did.
What you discovered was worse than what I discovered.
Oh my gosh, truly. But you're well rested.
Yeah, I
Well
passed
rested.
out real early last night.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was out by 8:45, so
Very proud of you. Wish
very
I was,
well rested.
Yeah, that's not my life, but I'm proud of you. Tay, how we doing? Sign up right now for the pro plan that we talk about all the time. $99 a year. Does not matter how many units you have in your home, right? I've got a couple of units. I forget who it was that said they had 3 units, right? Can't hide money. No matter how many you have, though, that is that one price for that pro plan. And also, like conveniences, no dispatch fee, right? How many times you're like, man, I think something's going on. Maybe it's not. I don't really want to pay the $180 up front just for them to come here. No dispatch fee there with Cool Pro. 1 hour wait times. So you're only sitting around for an hour knowing exactly where that person is, when they're going to be in your home. Go to the website today, coolprohvac.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years. At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart...
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
Welcome back in OTB on this Tuesday morning. You know, like eventually, I promise, I swear we will get to sports, but like another example of the morning show, computers restarting, our computers freezing. We're trying to tell a great Poopgate story. YouTube situation, I think it's gotten better. I believe that we're not buffering anymore, but we did put out a vote if you wanted to see evidence of what happened yesterday. So we got 6 minutes left in that, so you can jump in the YouTube chat, and if you want to see evidence of what we had to see and go through yesterday. Right now, 77% of you are sickos because you want to see it. So
I'm just
seems low to me.
Seems low.
Yeah.
Oh,
As soon as Alondra texted us, like, I showed Musso the text, and we both went outside and looked. Like, we have to see this. We have to see this.
I don't know. I mean, I get it now that you've heard the story probably. God, the microphone being on this side, let me tell you, it's an adjustment. I keep leaning right. The microphone's left. All right, so we'll update you on that. Also, something we learned yesterday, T-Bob's from Kenner. He had no idea. So he was getting his real ID. He didn't have anything that he was supposed to have, which that's not all on him. Alondra, mentioned that it's kind of tedious, and my wife tried to go get one a couple of weeks ago, and if you don't have your marriage license or something with your former last name, it's like, we've been married for 20 years. What are we talking about? But so it's not completely T-Bob's fault, although he didn't have a passport, his social, or birth certificate. So he had to go get a new birth certificate yesterday, and he found out that this entire time he's always said, I was born in New Orleans. I was born in New Orleans. He was not. He was actually born in Kenner, Louisiana, which I don't know how y'all feel. And look, shout out to Kenner, bro. That makes so much sense that T-Bob was born in Kenner.
I didn't know where he was born, so that wasn't like...
Okay. It was big for me.
Yeah.
Where was his original, like, where did he think? Because I know he always told us about...
He thought New Orleans, like the actual city of New Orleans.
I know he always talked about getting shot in the cup at the La Quinta. We've heard that story.
I think that was in Gretna.
Okay.
What?
He's got Kenner, New Orleans, Gretna, all covered.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
I think it was Gretna where the La Quinta was.
As a person who T-Bob is, it totally makes sense.
It was news. It was definitely news. I don't know.
He got his real ID, though.
He did?
He did.
Oh, I guess I missed that.
Yeah.
Well, I think he has to be in Chicago, like...
tomorrow.
Yeah. I think he has to start filming. That's why. So initially he was going to be here throughout this week because, again, I've got SEC spring meetings that I go to every year, and he was like, all right, I'm going to go to that week, and then Monday everybody's off, Memorial Day, and then Tay will fill in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You'll be back Friday. Boom, boom, boom. It'll all work. And then I guess it was last week. He's like, hey, I actually got to go that week before. That's why it wasn't rushed. I think we all knew about it, but he told you on Wednesday, going on Friday. But yeah, he had to be at Barstool for like actual work and almost didn't get there. I think he actually leaves today.
That's what I was going to say. Like,
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to leave today, so he really had to get it done yesterday. But yeah, he had stuff he had to go do, so he really needed that ID. But then he said that there's some fast pass that you could get. I didn't know this. I guess you could get a fast pass and skip the line, maybe. I don't know.
Well, if anybody was going to figure out how to get a fast pass, it was the Disney adult T-Bob
Fair.
Bear.
It's true. Where they go, the lightning lane. T-Bob was in the
Yeah.
lightning lane at the DMV.
Did he say where? Like it was in Baton Rouge, or did he have to go like Port Allen or
No,
Plaquemine?
it was in Baton Rouge.
Oh,
It
nice.
was, I think he said where.
Like I got it. Like we like
Industrialplex.
I got to get that done because obviously, like we're going to
Ask T-Bob.
SEC Media Days coming
yeah.
up, and actually Flynn actually is pretty good about stuff like that because he travels so much for business.
Yeah, and he was just in Scottsdale,
Yeah.
so he obviously
he's got
has
it.
it.
Well,
yeah.
unless he flew private. Very
Is he-
QB1
I was
energy.
about to say, is he known to do that?
No, he's not. I'm just kidding. I don't
Oh, I was
think.
about to say.
No. We wouldn't ask him. Like that would be no. We wouldn't ask him to be on the show if he's out there flying private. That is not something.
Down bad.
That is not very gritty.
That's just so funny.
All right, so when we were putting the graphic together of Flynn joining the show, we were trying to think of something to put on like the main graphic, like boom, catch your attention.
Yeah.
And we played with a couple of different ideas, and I was thinking, well, there's a lot of people that are like, Flynn's not going to be the guy. He doesn't need to work. Like he's got my high. He made a lot of money in the NFL. He doesn't need to work, which is kind of true. Like he doesn't need to work here, but he wanted to work here. Like he wants something to do every single day. He wants to be around us, wants to be around LSU, which we're very grateful for. But we were going to make like a big time kind of joke. And if it wouldn't have been maybe for like his business, like I didn't want people to think like his business wasn't doing well.
Yeah, fair.
We were going to put out the graphic and we were going to put out down bad. That he had to come take a local radio job.
Blew through his
money. Spent all of it, all $30 million that he made in the NFL. So it was up there. It was an option. Down bad didn't make the final chopping block, but it was certainly an option.
Do we end
if
this
anybody's
poll?
wondering.
Look, we got to end this poll. It's 81% right now.
Says yes.
I'm not going to look at this
Okay,
again.
well,
so y'all
I
let
got
me
it
know,
ready, guys.
'cause
It's
I'm
in the
not-
All right, so, God, what a way to welcome the voice of the Tigers on here coming up next segment. All right.
Just for like counts, though, my computer just restarted again.
Yeah. Oh, it's a morning show. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
I guarantee
No big deal.
guarantee you that there will be an engineer and it will be fixed
At 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. Guarantee it. He'll walk in here. Oh, hey, guys, what's up?
How'd the show go?
Not you. You've been sleeping, pal.
How'd the show go?
There's a show at 7 a.m. You need to be here at 7 a.m. It blows my mind. 7 a.m., you have a show. Actually, you have shows before that, right? Doesn't Condon start before then?
Yeah.
And
Brian.
Howden starts at 6.
At 6? All right. If there's a show at 6 on any of the stations that we have 4 stations. If there's a live show at 6 a.m. and you're the engineer or whoever that takes care of this in the building, you should be here at 5:59 at least, right? Am I crazy?
For situations like this, totally. Because I need this fixed like ASAP.
Yes. Yeah, coming in cold.
It's messing with
YouTube
the product.
spinning.
Yeah.
Taylor's cussing at a computer like Musso.
It's like, sure, like we do this show every day. There's a lot of things behind the scenes, but like when the internet's messed up, guys, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So that's why it's I'm not an internet guy.
All right, here we go. All right, we're going to keep this up. 5 seconds maximum. Here is the evidence. No. We are not kidding. We did not make a bit. We would make a better bit if this was a bit. This is real-ish, and here it is.
Jake, that's a big pile, man. They held that in all while.
Take it down.
God, and there's some in the underwear.
Oh, yeah. Here's my question, though. Like, go back to the original photo, because if you go back to the original picture, like, you can see the guy. I'm assuming this is a guy. I'm going to give all women the benefit of the doubt and say the man did this.
I mean, the underwear is what kind of gives it away.
The jeans are currently on. Did they take the pants completely off, like dong out in the parking lot, jeans back on? Or did they somehow get the underwear off with leaving the jeans on? Because I can't do that. Yeah. I cannot take my underwear off and leave the pants on. I don't think that's possible.
He went full nude at some point.
He had to, because look, the jeans are on.
Yeah,
you can see the jeans
there's no
here.
he didn't rip or cut. No.
It's so funny. I had my ESPN
Unless he's one of those quick change people that's truly down bad, and now he's pooping in parking lots. Yeah.
Luckily, I park in the back. I'm looking at the picture. I'm like, okay, a black polo shirt and jeans. Who's wearing that? I look down. That's what I was wearing yesterday. I was like, well, let's not look at that.
Oh, I would believe it was T-Bob, but T-Bob typically doesn't wear underwear, and he also admitted that he was in this restroom 10 feet away for at least 20 minutes. He doesn't do anything in there that's not, unless we're on air.
No, he's probably playing chess.
So, all right. Well, there you have it. That is the evidence. We're going to find out who did it, who done it. Alondra doesn't think she got some on her car. She did. I know I did. The voice of the LSU Tigers, Chris Blair, when we come back.
Off the bench.
Oh, what a day. All right, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Buying new, leasing, or renting here for summer vacation. We are now May the 20th. All right, so I know for me, this is like today, maybe tomorrow, last day for kids in school. So you probably, after you have your work week, have something scheduled where you're leaving town on Friday, on Saturday. That's okay if you haven't reserved your vehicle yet, because you can call Miss Lisa Sessions today, and Sequoia, Highlander, 4Runner, like whatever. If you want something smaller, like I don't think you're getting away from the kiddos here right when summer starts, but if you are, like you can get a sedan, you can get a hybrid. Everything's available. That's what makes it great. If you're buying anything, if you're leasing, if you're renting, like everything they offer is available in all three of those processes. Go to the website today, allstartoyota of BatonRouge.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Periscope.com.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back into OTB here on this Tuesday morning. Time to welcome on our guy, the voice of your LSU Tigers, Chris Blair. CB, what's going on, brother? How we doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. Congratulations. Championship backfield back together again. That's awesome.
It is, man. I'm excited for June the 2nd. And look, we've set the line, CB, 3.5 days per week that Flynn's going to make it, be on time, and be here the whole show. So 3.5 right now is the line in Vegas.
Yeah, let me think about it. I'll get back to you.
Oh, exactly. All right, this is one of our favorite times of the year, SEC baseball tournament, as we get ready to see where the Tigers are going to be hosting regionals, hosting super regionals, I think we all think. And so we'll start there. After what you did there in Columbia, South Carolina, you wanted to sweep? Sure, everybody wants to sweep. But it's the SEC. It's on the road. You went 2 of 3. Everyone believes that the Tigers, CB, have done enough to be able to solidify themselves as a host in the Super Regionals if they do, in fact, move on from regional play. Do you think the Tigers have done enough?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I really do. I mean, I know there's a number of factors that will be considered, you know, once they all get in that room and start that decision, and it's not going to be solely based on being ranked number 1 in X number of polls. It's not going to be solely based on RPI. You know, I have a hard time thinking that, again, if we're arguing what seed they'll be, yeah, I think we can really, you know, dig down deep. But if it's a matter of whether they're a national seed or not, I have a hard time believing there's going to be a committee who's going to, you know, get that detailed about top national seeds out of the SEC and say, well, this is the number one team. Their RPI is top 10, and no, they're going to be the 9 seed or the 10 seed. I have a hard time buying that in the final week with the regular season over. I look at this SEC tournament this year in the same way I look at it, in 2023, which was different than I looked at it in 2024 for LSU. So I'm not convinced they got to go over there and win. I mean, I don't think they're making the trip over there to lay down, but I think they're a national seed.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we were talking about yesterday is I know everybody treats the SEC tournament differently, depending on what you need. Like a year ago, LSU went there and they're like, hey, we got to win some games. We got to be able to add to our resume, and they did that. And people were asking, okay, will Jay coach it different this year? And knowing him and the way that he coaches, like even a midweek game, like you want to be victorious every time you go out there, but like he really, he goes after midweek games, like no coach like that I've ever seen here. And so I am curious, CB, like how he's going to handle the first game in Hoover, because we just don't know Jay to half step into any game.
I think Jay is very analytical, and we all know that if you spent some time around him. But I also think he is firm, at least my experience around him, he is firm that he doesn't change. And I think that's important to him just because the players understand what they get every single day. And I say all that because do I think Kate Anderson will be on the bump Friday regardless of who we play, whether it's Mississippi State, Auburn, or Texas A&M? Yeah. Do I think he's going to throw him 100 pitches and get into a battle late in the game? No. Do I think he would be on a pitch count or at least, hey, this is how much work we want to – because I think, number one, he's pragmatic, and it lands on the right day for Kate Anderson, keeps him right in his rest period. He wants to give his team the best chance of winning every time they go out on the field, and he tells his team that. And to do it any other way would not be genuine. Is he going to pull every single lever and push every single button in a one-run game on Friday in Hoover? I mean, we'll see. Yeah. But I think he goes into it preparing to win that game.
So last time we were catching up, we were talking about a couple of different things for LSU, and one of them was like the LSU bullpen. What did you see there in Columbia? Did it make you feel better? Because there were some actual nice performances out of the bullpen, because as we know, like you're going to need somebody, like you've got two frontline starters that I think is the best 1-2 punch in the country, but you're going to need other people because there's going to be some games that get pieced together. What did you see over the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm saying pretty much what I've said for the last month and a half, and that is that there are guys that are in that bullpen that on any given night can walk out there and compete and pitch at a very high level against any offense in the SEC. And by that, I'm basically saying they can compete against any team in the USA. Have they been consistent? No. Would you put your mortgage on it? No. But are there candidates that can do it? And I think back to, the first couple of years Jay was here, including the championship year. I mean, there were some guys that, if I would be lying to you, Jacob, and I think a lot of fans would agree with me, if I said when they made it to Omaha, this is a pitching staff that's going to be able to go out there and match up night after night for 2 solid weeks. Oh, and by the way, battle out of the loser's bracket to win a title. I didn't have that much confidence. Were there more consistent pieces than maybe this year in the bullpen? Okay, I'd give you that. But there were some miraculous performances that surprised all of us. And I hate to say that as if it's just a crapshoot when you go to Omaha, but I mean, in a way, it kind of is. So I think there's candidates there. Do I think that they've, am I 100% confident that every guy that they throw out there is going to be able to compete against some of these great teams? I got to be honest, not yet.
Right.
But I think there's some candidates there, and I've seen some crazy stuff in this game of baseball.
I want to ask you about one guy that we haven't talked a lot about, and we kind of like diving into the stats and the analytics of it last week. We're like, okay, well, Cooper Williams has been throwing better. And I know he gave up the home run over the weekend, but he did strike out 2 as well. So he has 1 bad pitch, but that is somebody that's, kept his ERA down. He hasn't pitched a ton. I mean, we're talking, I believe, under 20 total innings, but this is somebody that does feel like they are getting closer and closer, CB, to being somebody that you can count on in high leverage situations.
I think that Jay Johnson would agree with that. almost word for word, Jacob. And, I've heard him say as much. And Cooper's one of those guys that he has a lot of faith in and believes it's a matter of turning that corner to consistency. It's not about whether or not he's got enough stuff to compete. And Cooper, I think, is one that you pick up on that I think, Bill Franquez and I talked a little bit about during the broadcast this weekend is he's a guy that has shown those flashes, and he's indeed in that category I just mentioned, to go along with a Jacob Myers, who, the last couple of outings, I mean, it's hard when you see a guy throwing 99 and 100 miles an hour not to get excited about it, But I do think he's had some flashes of what it takes to be successful in this league. And again, vis-a-vis, that relates to, college baseball as a whole. But yeah, Cooper's one I think that Jay would tell you he's got a lot of confidence in and really doesn't have a problem putting him in, big time moments. And we've seen it this year. And sometimes he's been able to be very, very good. And sometimes, again, he looks like a freshman competing against veteran lineups. But I mean, I think he's certainly one of those candidates that we could be talking about either coming away from Hoover or once we get to the regionals and super regionals, that performance he put together reminds me a little bit of a Will Helmer's appearance or two. So, yeah, I think that's a very good candidate.
Going back to the lineup, there is a couple of guys that have really been on fire recently, and Ethan Fry's been on fire all season long. It just feels, leading the team in average. We looked at it, last week, and we're like, man, this is a guy that we just kind of assumed was going to be a platoon player. He had another big week, and then Jake Brown. And look, we saw Jake Brown last year, what he did in the regional in Chapel Hill. Like, it's not a surprise. Both incredibly talented guys, and you're kind of waiting for them all to put it together. And Fry's certainly done that all season long. And Brown has not had a bad season at all. But, like, when he's played, he's produced. And now, like, Jay's got that good problem, CB, of he's got to find a way to keep both those guys in the lineup.
Yeah, Ethan Fry has been so much fun to watch. And I've said it 1,000 times. The first time I saw Ethan Fry, I thought, oh my God, you think Casey at the bat. He just intimidates pitchers, stepping into the box. But at the end of the day, the fact that he has gone from a guy that you're like, hey, at any given moment he could run into one, to a guy that you're expecting to get 2 or 3 hits per night, the way he's done, it seems like, of late. He's just swinging a very good bat, seeing the ball extremely well. And then you add that power. He's not just a guy that occasionally can give you something. He's a guy that I think is a mainstay. And when it comes to Jake Brown, he is like the ultimate kryptonite for right-handed pitchers. A number of times we've seen this year where, the opponent will make a pitching change, go to a right-hander, and you see Jake pick up a bat. And I don't remember the numbers, but it's something like 6 for 11 in pinch hit at bats this year. And he's tearing up right-handed pitchers. So, he's kind of like, as soon as you make that move, guess what? Jay's going to counter with a guy like Jake Brown. And, it's so difficult. And I've said this so many times about Jay in this age of transfer portal and NIL and all the things that have changed. Just his ability to get these guys, and whether it lasts forever, who knows? But the last couple of seasons, for him be able to get these guys to buy into the big team, little me mentality. Jake's a perfect example of a guy that is probably in the everyday starting lineup in 15 other SEC schools. Do I think he will be moving forward? I don't know, just simply because there are matchups where I think Josh Pearson's veteran experience and his ability to hit the baseball and see the baseball are good. And, all I can say is LSU is blessed to have a guy like Jake Brown, hopefully for at least another year, maybe 2. But you also got a guy like Josh Pearson. But, Jake, all season, I think, he's made it very difficult every day that Jay puts that lineup together.
Catching up with the voice of the LSU Tigers, Chris Blair here on OTB. CB, what's the travel look like for Hoover getting there? One of those, like last year, the situation was you probably packed like this really big bag, not knowing how long the Tigers are going to be there. They make a run, and you're there for a while. With the tournament changing up and it not being a double elimination, it's a single elimination. You got the double bye. Like, what's the travel looking like for the Tigers?
Yeah, I'll readily admit last year, Jacob, a couple of trips to the Washateria for Chris in Hoover. I took one of the smaller bags I've ever taken.
Yeah.
and mainly a little bit of that was some voodoo on my part. I thought if I plan to be there all week, which I've done every single year for 8 seasons, things don't happen. So why don't I just go for the minimum? And this year it works out great. It's a new format. I'm a little bit like Coach Johnson in the sense I kind of like the old format. I kind of like the double elimination. I also like rewarding teams for having a solid regular season. No offense to the Missouris and South Carolinas and even Texas A&Ms for that matter now. But no, we're going to go over Wednesday. I think the team is going over Wednesday evening or Wednesday afternoon. And that way they can be on the ground, get some practice in over there in Hoover. So yeah, I'll be headed over for that. But I am firmly packed for the weekend to come back Sunday night this year. No doubt about it. The good news is I just checked the forecast before I joined you. Yeah. And it looks like we're going to get, if all things hold, fingers crossed, I mean, this might be a fairly mild SEC tournament and otherwise what is one of the hottest places on earth typically this time of year.
Oof. I mean, now, what's a better chance of Flynn showing up 5 days a week or having an SEC baseball tournament where it doesn't rain?
Yeah, I'm probably going with the tournament. No offense. I love Matt.
Fair.
I love him.
It's very fair.
But again, I'm using reverse psychology again. He'll be there every day. I have no doubt.
Yeah, fair enough. CB, we appreciate the time as always, sir. Safe travels over there to Hoover. We look forward to hearing the call.
Yeah, man. Hey, and I love the tweet or social media post you guys put out. I guess somebody put it out yesterday or retweeted it about the first 10 up in Hoover is purple and gold.
Yes, absolutely. Already ready, even though they don't play for days.
Yeah, hoping we see a bunch of fans over there. Looking forward to it, Jay.
Yep, no question about it. Appreciate it. That is Chris Blair, the voice of your LSU Tigers, going to be on the call, obviously, for the LSU game coming up on Thursday. All right, we will take a break. Certainly want to come back, get Alondra's opinion on some of the things that we talked about there, the LSU bullpen, the platoon situation, and Jake Brown hitting so well right now. Obviously, lefty-on-lefty matchup changes the math there. As someone who swings left-handed, I get everything that we know about that situation as well. We'll do it all when we come back here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, got a couple things here for Pelican Roofing that we want to remind you about, okay? Financing, all right? They can do that for you. 0 interest for up to 21 months for qualified applicants, okay? That is a big deal. You can go to pelicanroof.com, find out more information there. Also, growing the Baton Rouge team, looking to hire 10 new sales reps during the month of May, so you still got some time. They are paying up to $10,000 signing bonus. Applicants can go to pelicanroof.com/careers. Also giving away a free roof to a mother in need. They are collecting nominations during the entire month of May. So again, you still have time left. They're going to announce a winner on June the 2nd. To nominate people, you can go to the website pelicanroof.com/contestants. Or they can check out the pinned post on their Facebook page. So if you want to get involved in that, go to the website, go to Facebook. Again, go to pelicanroof.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB here on a Tuesday morning, talking a little LSU baseball as they get ready to head off to Hoover, Alabama for the SEC tournament. You're going to have games that actually start today. And again, last year you were one of those teams that needed to go to Hoover, have a big performance, keep on winning games, improve that resume. And now we're all asking the question, have you done enough? Do you need to win one game in Hoover? I actually don't think that you have to. And can you improve? Maybe you go from a 6 to a 5? Yeah, certainly. But I do think you've done enough. And you can yell and say, well, she's the number one team in the country in all three polls. Of course they're a top 8 seed. That's just not how it works. And you can say, well, why do we have polls? I get that as well. Why do we? If LSU's number one team in the country, why they're not going to be a surefire top 5 seed? It's just not the way that it works. We've seen this in college basketball as well. Now, I will argue, like LSU's LSU. And the example that I always give, and they weren't what they are now, even back then, Gonzaga basketball. One year, they were number 3 in the country in both the AP and coaches poll, and they got a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. So number 3 in the country, 3 seed in the tournament. And Gonzaga was, great, and they had built their, brand or whatever, but they weren't to who they are even now. Well, LSU baseball is a blue blood. I think the biggest blue blood in college baseball. Like, I know what happened back in the 80s and the 70s, but since 1990, LSU's that blue blood. So I don't think that will happen to them. I don't think they're going to fall out of the top 8, but their RPI, last time I checked, it was sitting at 8. And even Kendall Rogers, who I talked with yesterday on Off Campus, he's like, yeah, like we put him at 7. If they got 5, like I wouldn't be surprised at all. He's like, now if they fall behind 7, that's what would be the big surprise. So Alondra Tay, we'll get both of you to weigh in. First off, like, do you like the new format of the SEC tournament? Every team is included, single elimination, and do the Tigers need to go win a game to solidify themselves as a top 8 seed?
I think Chris made a good point about the tournament and how, I like the single elimination part of it, but I do think he made a good point with the good teams get rewarded by going to the SEC tournament. All 16 teams going. Like, does it really matter if Missouri is there or not? You know what I mean? Or South Carolina,
maybe.
Yeah, but it just, I kind of like it, but I agree with Chris on that aspect of it. But I do like that it's single elimination. And I agree with him that Jay is going to see it the same way that he has every other weekend ever, where he is going to start Kate Anderson on Friday probably. Like, you're going to start your ace on Friday.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, like, why would you do that? Why would you not go throw whatever arm? you also want to keep your guys on schedule.
Exactly.
Like, you don't want them with the extended period of rest and
Yeah.
all of a sudden their arm changes. Like,
Yeah.
you want them going out there. He would throw a bullpen anyway. And maybe, like you said earlier, like, maybe it's not like your full tilt, go out there, 100-plus pitches and go win the game. Maybe it's just what you normally would do for a bullpen. Hey, you've got 60-pitch limit. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm all for, like, throwing your guy.
Yeah.
Well, they did this. Remember, we all go back to when Skeens was here, and he threw him against Tulane, game 1 of the regional. Everybody hated it. Now, it worked out for you, but that was because he was your Friday guy. I love single elimination because used to it was like single, then double, and then it got all confusing. I don't think they need to win the game in the tournament. Like, you could get a little bit better seeding, but it doesn't matter because you don't know who your super matchup is. And, like, that's the most important thing, but you just don't know where that is yet.
I want Auburn.
We need Auburn.
I want them.
Yeah.
If you get Auburn and you can beat them.
Yeah, I want them, and I hope Sam Dutton, shout out to, when he was a Tiger, but he ain't a Tiger anymore. Well, he's a Tiger, but he's kind of a War Eagle, right? They got
they have
identity
like 5,
crisis
yeah.
there, okay? All right? Bring the rec specs out there, go out on the mound, and I hope the Tigers shell him, okay?
Yeah.
Not mad at him, but I just hope that happens, okay? You need a little payback to the Auburn Tigers, and I hope that they get the opportunity to do just that. So we will certainly see as, again, SEC tournament starts today, and we'll give you that schedule later on in the show. More OTB when we come back here, 104.5 ESPN.
Off the bench.
Also, get your mailbag questions in. Look at me, following like T and forgetting to tell you to get those questions in. Get them inside of our YouTube chat there. Hashtag OTB mailbag. We'll answer them when we jump back. YourGoodwood.com is the website. YourGoodwood.com. Check out where you can find the full list of services, right? You can find a full list of pricing, right? Do not settle for a mediocre sex life. You don't have to. And if you've got like a question and you don't maybe see it on the website, like chances are you're going to get it answered right there on the homepage. But if you don't, right, you can do a couple of different things. You can book a consultation in the bottom right corner of the website, get everything started, go see them for yourself, tell them what's going on. Or you can just pick up the phone, have that conversation with them and say, hey, here's what I'm dealing with. Can y'all help me? And they're going to be able to help get you on a path for success, okay? That's 225-4GD-WOOD, 225-4GD-WOOD, and always yourgoodwood.com.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
HD2, Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Tuesday, May 20th. Today in Baton Rouge, you could expect partly cloudy skies with a high of 90. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll have OTB mailbag at 8 a.m. Then Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered hops on at 8:15. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 of OTB 104.5, ESPN Baton Rouge, 94.7 in Alexandria, and 11:30 a.m. The Tiger up in the Port City. And, of course, always on YouTube as well. Go to 104.5 ESPN, search it out, and find us live there. Let's go ahead now and get to a little OTB mailbag.
I have this special delivery for Off the Bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
Did you hear that big boom as well, Alondra? Is somebody coming in here to take a dump? Are they bringing it inside?
No, I think the internet might finally be getting fixed.
Yeah, mini Chris.
An hour later.
It's 8:01 because nobody wanted to wake up early. That pet peeve, as y'all can tell, of mine. Like, if we're here, you're here.
Right.
This doesn't have an OTB mailbag hashtag on it, but I want to mention it. 11.7 predictions. That's a great Twitter account for college baseball. Has Oral Roberts, Southeastern, and Southern Miss in Baton Rouge for the regional. I don't think that's where Southern Miss is going to be, because I think Southern Miss is going to be in Hattiesburg. I think Southern Miss is going to be hosting their own regional. If they did that to LSU, that would be dirty.
That would. It would. And Southern Miss has knocked us out of our own before.
Yeah, that was it.
Was it Super?
No, it was Hattiesburg.
We went to Hattiesburg.
No, but they came
What
here.
year was that?
That was before. That was Jay's first year.
And I thought
it was Jay's first year.
Because didn't Gavin Dugas, if I remember right, he tied it up, and I'm like, oh, LSU's winning this, and then credit to Southern Miss.
Yeah, so that was Jay's first year.
No, I'm talking about like way back in, I think it was like 2019.
Yeah, we definitely have a history with Southern Miss baseball for sure.
I was talking about a different time.
Let's see. Hashtag OTB mailbag. When LSU makes it to the College World Series, will we break our own Jell-O shot record?
I mean, probably, right? Like you gotta go bigger. Everything.
Maybe.
It depends on how long your team is there, though.
It does.
That's what people don't realize. Last time you made it all the way to the championship, you're there for a week. Yeah. I mean, if you go and you're 2 and done.
Well, and you got to make it, because when you make it, then Gordon McKernan goes, and then Todd Graves goes, because they want to see you win a championship, and they wanted a lot of shots, right? Was it 8,888?
8,888 reasons to rally.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. And so, it depends on how long do you make it in Omaha. Agree there, Tay-Tay. Hashtag OTB mailbag. What was your favorite thing to do at the start of summer vacation?
So at the start of every summer, like when I was in high school and college, we would all take a family trip to Universal. We would go like late May, like last week of May, because my mom's a teacher, so she would get done like mid-May. Last week of May, we did that. Not really growing up, but like, I guess for the past like 6 or 7 years, that's what we did. Yeah. We're kind of doing this, like when I'm leaving tomorrow, instead of that. But that's always something I enjoyed.
Alondra?
We usually my grandparents had a pool, so we would just go to the pool. We had like an end of year party every year. Like me and my brother would, because we were only a year apart. So we had friends that were close. So we would have like a huge party at my grandparents' house at the pool. That was always fun. I don't know. We didn't I know I get a lot of jokes about how I go out of town a lot or whatever, but that used to not be my life. Like we used to go to Corpus maybe every 2 years, if that. So I wasn't really a big vacationer back in the day.
Hey, if you got the days, take the days.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of days stacked up. Tay, get ready. I'm just kidding.
Please don't do that to
Just
me.
kidding. I'm not going to do that. I don't really have like one thing because I was always a football player. And we basically had like 4 or 5 days. And it was like, hey, you're getting back into the grind of summer workouts. So it was like, we don't really want to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like, just let me sit out here and chill. I do remember one time, so dorky, me and my best friend Big Wayne, shout out Big Wayne.
Big Wayne is a great name.
He's a K9 cop down in Houma.
Oh
so
my
shout
gosh.
out. Try listening down
a
from Bayou.
K9 cop named Big Wayne.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, that's my guy. I remember playing like Alice Cooper, School's Out for the Summer. One time he had his whole like truck filled with like a bunch of us and like just throwing like textbooks and paper like out the window, like as we're driving off campus. We were probably sophomores. Or maybe freshmen. He's old as hell. He just got his license as a freshman. We went to Evangel. Y'all know the deal. Definitely like one of the moments I remember. I was like thinking it was so cool in the moment and probably like just not as cool as I thought it was. But in that moment, we had it cranked up to 11.
Yeah.
And we were speeding off of Evangel campus. So one of the few.
That was cool. I think that was probably like super cool.
Yeah, for sure it was. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Who messed up the stream? Wrong answers only. Well, wrong answers would be the person who's supposed to be here to fix it. So.
Who messed up the stream?
Really what we have is like a hamster downstairs and it's on a wheel and he got a little tired. We had to go give him a little bump. Like
we didn't have the backup hamster
bump
either.
of
Yeah,
what?
like
No, like a little bump.
A
like
little pat.
Yeah, a little pat.
Yeah,
Dude,
we say a little bump.
Probably the wrong word
on
to
this
use there.
show.
Yeah,
Speaking
my
of
bad.
bump, dude, I had that conversation with Musso the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I told him, I'm like, dude, like these energy drinks aren't cut, and like I might have to start doing cocaine.
Okay, well.
I told him, I was like,
the
and
problem
not like a
is
morning.
the person that would be your dealer lives in Chicago.
I can go up to Chicago. We're good. I'll just buy it in bulk.
I don't think you have to go to Chicago.
And it won't be like a morning because I'm tired out by the afternoon. It'd be like a good like 11:30 noon bump, a noon bump, lunchtime bump.
T-Bob's not
I
a
don't
drug
think
dealer.
Taylor needs any more energy.
A lunchtime
T-Bob's a
bump
drug
is what
dealer. He wouldn't have to move.
True. Very true.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. I have to I say it and I'm like, let me read this to make sure I'm not saying something. Would this year be considered a failure for Jay Johnson if they don't make it out of a home super? Yeah.
Yeah, your goal is
If you
Omaha
don't
every
make
year.
You've been number one in the
yeah.
country for a while.
For sure, yes.
You've had this expectation. You've got a really good team, a really good roster. I think Jay, when he joins us this week, would say, yeah.
He says that
And
all the time.
Even whenever last season we made it to a regional, not our own regional, but we got into the postseason, I think even that a lot of people considered last season a little disappointing.
Yeah, I think even if you win that regional, she's talking about. I think people are disappointed because you didn't host one. I mean, LSU every year your goal is to make it to Omaha. If you don't, that's a disappointment to the fans.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I mean, that's your expectation. Just like we talk about LSU football, hey, bud, 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
You got to go out there. You got to make it. That's going to be the expectation. Is it tough? Absolutely it is, but that's still what it is.
Yeah.
Hashtag OTB mailbag. How many times an hour does Jake pee, considering he has 2 to 3 drinks in studio? I haven't left this chair yet.
Jake's good about that.
I hadn't left this chair yet.
You're normally pretty good about that.
So I've got, so this is, coffee that's in the to-go cup. The Yeti's full of coffee. And then no free shout-outs, the AG1 green drink here. So that's it's usually what I have up here. But no, I hadn't gone.
That seems like that would make you
restroom.
pee too.
Just well, now like they are talking about it.
That's impressive.
It's one of those things you talk about it, then it happens. If LSU loses the first game, do you stick around and watch other SEC games? I guess in the tournament. Would. Yeah, I'd watch some good baseball.
If I was already there,
yeah.
Like if I told myself I'm gonna stay in Hoover the entire weekend, yeah, I'm gonna
It's always the most difficult part for me. Like, whether it's Hoover or Omaha, like, you got to book those hotels early, right?
Yeah.
You got to book it for the week. So, like, even if LSU's out early, you got the room.
Yeah. You might as well,
you might as well stay. Like, you got
stay,
it.
tailgate. Like, you're watching it without stress. You know your team's going to be hosting, so there's no, and stay, hang out, watch. Hashtag OTB mailbag. Who gets a regular segment first, Alondra or Flynn? Alondra.
Flynn's not going to be here now.
I don't think there's any doubt that Alondra will get a segment before. Like, if Alondra wants a segment, all you got to do is ask.
Yeah.
It's going to, like, I want to make that abundantly clear here. Like, not that T, like, ever said no or anything, like, at all. Whenever this all went down, I reached out to Alondra and Taylor. This is our show, including Flynn, right? So it is us four. That is going to be the vibe moving forward. They're going to talk. They're going to have segments. They're going to have input. And it is going to be a total team effort. So if they want a segment, they get a segment. And if it sucks, it sucks. Like, we all have segments that suck.
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is.
I
it's
really
radio.
want to do the one that I said yesterday.
Oh, that'd be good.
Right? I think so, too. I think it's a good, like, off-season thing because, you know, the off-season's a little slow.
Yeah.
It would be fun.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. LSU baseball always, the all-season's completely different when they're on one of those deep runs.
Yeah,
and then when
they'll take us up to
LSU
July.
football is supposed to be, like, elite good like they are this year, that certainly helps kind of get the juices flowing a little bit earlier. Which guarantee employee is going to have to clean up the poop?
Musa.
Unfortunately, it was Landon.
Oh, he
already
did?
cleaned it up? Oh, man.
I know. He was like, I guess I'll clean it up when I get back. And I was like, wait, you have to clean it? And he was like, I'm not going to leave it out in the parking lot. And I was like, I know, but I didn't know that you were the one that was going to have to clean it.
How'd you spray it with a hose?
This comes from Trial by Fire. When the chat is more interesting than the actual show. See, here's the thing, Trial by Fire.
You didn't like the bit?
We're not sensitive up here, bud. That's not going to get us. In fact, when Flynn comes on and we have something stupid that we're talking about and you're going to say something, we're going to laugh at it.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite shows that I've ever done is we pulled up Tiger Droppings. First time I've ever been on there. And shout out to Tiger Droppings.
God,
I
I
always
love
have
Tiger
great
Droppings.
parties, by the way, like at events. Those guys are great. I don't get on it. It's just not, I don't. But I totally get it. I understand why it's so popular. We read all the negative comments that when we started doing the radio show, and some of them were deep cuts, like knife twists. We don't care. We're going to do our show. We're going to have fun. And if you think it's more interesting to be in the chat, joke's on you. We get a percentage of that chat too. So you're paying us to hate on us. Don't care. That's fine. Love it. Thank you. Hester loving live since T-Bob got fired. No, he did not get fired. He left on his own. But I will. One of the things that, and if you didn't listen to Hanging with Hester 5 years ago, you were like, wait a minute, why is he's hosting? He didn't talk a whole lot before. Well, I mean, that was one of the things. Like T-Bob, whenever I went to OTB, he said, hey, the only thing that I want to do is lead the show. And I said, absolutely, this is your show. You've been on this show with Jordy. You got it. Take it away. And there was a process for both of us. I had never been a second chair on a show, and so I had to learn how to be a co-host, and we found our groove, and it worked for us. Every other show that I've ever been on, I've actually been a lead, and I lead off campus on SiriusXM every day. And so it is going to be a different vibe maybe for me, and that's intentional. Like, the vibe for the old show is not going to be the vibe for the new show. So I'll make Flynn come back from break sometimes because I want to see how sweaty his palms get when I say, hey, you got to bring it back from break, and then he's going to be bad at it, and then I'm going to laugh at him. So we're going to do a lot of different things here on the show. All right, let's see if we got at least one more before we take a break. I actually like this when we're talking about it. Who's going to be the 8 a.m. Wednesday guest going to be moving forward? Like, who's going to be that, Flestering used to be Wednesday, 8 a.m. We need to come up with somebody.
I've said one.
I don't remember. So you want to say it on there? Or you want to say
We can't. I mean, I don't know if you care or not, but the only person I thought it was Richard Dixon.
Oh, yeah. Look, Dick Dixon has an open invite.
Yeah.
He can come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Yeah.
You want to talk about old school Hanging with Hester days when us three would get together. So, yeah, Dick Dixon doesn't even have to ask. He can just walk up in here. We are talking about different people. We're going to have more people in studio that are going to come join us. That's kind of the way we've always done it, probably in the 9 o'clock hour because nobody wants to get here at 7 a.m. But, yeah, we definitely have talked about that, going to have that moving forward. One programming note, since we're already here, about tomorrow's show at this time, LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker is going to join us. Maybe we can get him in studio. I don't know. I know he's got some daddy duties as they got some downtime, but Blake Baker will be here with us tomorrow at this time at 8 a.m. So go ahead and mark your calendars. Be tuned in for that. We will step away, continue talking some LSU, SEC baseball. Chris Phillips joins us to do so. We'll have that for you right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. GetGordon.com is the website, and that's throughout the state of Louisiana. When you go to that website, right there on the homepage, it's going to pull up a little chat box. Hey, what can we help you with today? And that's a great tool, and you can get a lot of questions answered right there. You can fill out a consultation. They'll reach back out to you. You can check past client results, cases they've handled here in the greater Baton Rouge area. But as we always say, like we're on in Alexandria, we're on in Shreveport. We're talking to you as well. Gordon is throughout the state of Louisiana, not only in the courtroom, but in the community as well. At Get Gordon, bless you, Alondra, is always going to be the handle on all major social media to see what they're doing in your local community. And then, as we always tell you, if you want to pick up the phone, give them a call, talk with them, figure out whatever you've got going on and how they can help you. It is your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Bend Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
that color in your cheeks.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, talking a little SEC baseball, and to do so, going to be joined now by Chris Phillips. You know him from SEC Unfiltered. Chris, always a pleasure, man. Hope you're doing well.
Hester, what's going on, man? Appreciate you having me. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. And, yeah, excited to be here in Hoover, and we'll be out here at the Hoover Met soon and get the week underway.
Yeah, so I actually just saw this is your first time. Your first time in Hoover. So, like, did you get any advice? Did anybody, like, throw you any, hey, here's how you handle Hoover?
Here and there, not a ton of advice. So I might be going into it a little bit blind. My guy, Harrison Fant, who is our co-host on the Wind-Up and all of our college baseball content, he was actually here last year. So he actually hung out with some LSU folks and some others and kind of got the 411 on what to do and what not to do. But I've heard the RV lot is the spot to be. So I will certainly be venturing over there. You'll love to hear this. I've seen all the LSU flags already. You think they played today, so it's going to be an all-week tailgate leading up into the weekend. But, excited to go out there and explore. And, everything looks awesome right now. We were able to get out and watch some practice yesterday. So I'll be learning as I go for sure.
I'm not telling you, like, who to root for. And you might have, like, 5 different shirts that you can put on different SEC schools. But I will tell you this, Chris, before we get into the actual baseball, if you want to be well-fed and you want to have a cold pop in your hand, you throw on an LSU shirt, and I can promise you'll be taken care of.
Yeah, so I was at the box a few weeks ago, so I think I kind of know the drill at this point. So whoever's got the crawfish, I'm down to wear whatever I got to do and say whatever to get some crawfish again.
Absolutely. Chris, new format there for the SEC baseball tournament. We've talked about it all morning long. It's no longer double elimination now. Every team is going to be there in Hoover 1 through 16. How do you feel about the new format?
I like it from a standpoint of everybody is in the tournament. I think selfishly for us, it'll be really cool to interact with all the different fan bases and, everybody getting an opportunity. I am curious what it does to the attendance, just from the standpoint of, it's hard to ask a lot of these fan bases, I think, to make the trip if they're only potentially going to be out for one game, right? Especially if you're not a top 4 seed, if you're not getting the double bye. If you're a fan of one of these teams playing today or tomorrow, it's just, it's kind of a risk, if you will.
Yeah.
I know they'll show up and show out, obviously, but I do like the format. And listen, I think there's positives to it. I think there's negatives to it. I think there were positives and negatives of the previous format. So it's the one we got, and I am curious, like I said, how it affects attendance, how it affects maybe some pitching strategy and just strategy in general from some of these teams that play, like I said and mentioned, definitely today and tomorrow. And I think it's a huge advantage, Jacob, to the top 4 seeds. I mean, You look at a team like an LSU, obviously. It's like you're playing a normal SEC weekend versus a Florida today, a Kentucky, A&M, Alabama, go down the list. They're kind of having to dig back into, like, their midweek pitchers and some guys that don't normally see the bump in an SEC game. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Who's the team that you think needs to improve their resume the most? Because there's some teams, like Missouri's got to go, like, they got to go win the whole thing. Like, South Carolina would have to go win the whole thing. Texas A&M maybe falls into some of that conversation. Maybe they can still go out there, even if they don't win it all, if they had, some quality wins, got to a championship. But who do you think, Chris, realistically has the opportunity to do so but needs to add to their resume?
Yeah, I think it's a good question, Jacob, because I think that's the most intriguing storyline of the week is, a lot of these teams like an LSU and Arkansas, Texas, we know what they're going to be. They're set, top 8 national seeds, nothing to worry about. And you mentioned some of the obvious, right? Like, I'm not going to include Missouri and South Carolina in this because I just think it'd be unrealistic to ask them to make the kind of run they need to make the postseason, which is they'd have to win it all.
Right.
Texas A&M is fascinating from the standpoint of, they probably have to make it to the championship game, I think at minimum Saturday. And maybe, just maybe, they'd be able to squeak in. I was really surprised to see them in one of the latest postseason projections as actually like a team to consider. Like, I can't believe we're still considering Texas A&M, if I'm being totally honest, but they were there. I look at some of the teams, the ones I'm focused on, Jacob, are Oklahoma, Florida, Tennessee, and an Ole Miss, because all of these are fighting, and throw Alabama in there as well, all fighting for potentially a hosting bid. It depends on what happens across the country, obviously, but all are kind of on the cusp of being that 15 or 16 seed and having postseason baseball played at their yard. So, like, I think a team like Tennessee, this could benefit massively. They haven't been playing great baseball on the stretch. lost 6 of the last 7 series. You know, we saw them win it last year, but if you can get hot in Hoover, string together a couple wins, maybe the committee's looking at Tony Vitello's club favorably, and again, is putting postseason baseball back at Lindsey Nelson. And obviously, we know the shot in the arm that is for you if you're hosting. So, yeah, I think those teams that are kind of right on that fringe line of the 16 seed or being a 2 seed somewhere else, that's who I'm most paying attention to.
Catching up with Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered here on OTB. Chris, I did see you put out your tournament predictions, and you kind of got it going chalky here.
I mean, dude, I just think with the way the format is, man, I think it's going to be those top 4 seeds kind of battling it out. You know, it was chalky when you look at it. I mean, I've got the top 4 seeds advancing into the weekend. I'm sure, you know, I think maybe that, you know, I look at maybe like a Florida, the Gator Boys stay hot. You know, I think they could make a run. I think Ole Miss is really undervalued because we talked the gambling side last night. I think Auburn's really undervalued at what you can get them at. You know, Tennessee's always dangerous, obviously, but it's just going to be really tough, in my opinion, Esther, to go in there and beat one of these teams that is resting and not playing till Thursday, Friday. When LSU's going to turn to Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson. Granted, is Jay going to let them go 100, 120 pitches? I don't know about that, but again, it's a normal weekend for them versus, let's say, a Florida does make it. Like, what arm are they on at that point? I will say the kicker, though, for these teams today and tomorrow, and it might sound obvious, for some of these teams with some of the rotations they have, if they can get to Thursday and they haven't spent their top arms, well, now things could get really interesting. Like if Florida still got Liam Peterson and Aiden King and Jake Clemente ready to go, if Mississippi State's got Pico Khan and you know, the rest of their rotation ready to go, you know, if Oklahoma has Kyson Witherspoon, like that to me is what could make this interesting. But you're right, I am really chalky with it, which means my picks are probably going to blow up in my face. So I'm more than prepared for that.
No, I mean, you're probably on something because those teams are going to have all their pitching with the new format and probably wanting to make sure that they solidify themselves and get the best seed possible. So I could certainly see it going that way, but I am a sucker for like just crazy odds. And I saw y'all put out yesterday, according to FanDuel, like all the different odds to win the SEC tournament, and I see Mississippi State at plus 3,100, and my eyes just get so big because I'm like, look, they've won 5 games in a row. They've, you know, gotten to 500 in conference play. They're a postseason team, and I think it was D1 Baseball's projections had them as a 3 seed. I'm like, if they're a 3 seed in my regional, I am pissed. I am mad at the world if the Bulldogs are a 3 seed in my regional. So, like a long shot play, I think I'd go Mississippi State. But again, you're probably onto something when you look at the top 4 seeds saving their arms and still going out there and trying to be victorious, at least with common sense and not throw 120 pitches. But, you know, if Cade Anderson, for example, those 65, 70 pitches, that still gives LSU a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I mean, again, from the gambling perspective, I think you're right. You're obviously going to take one of the long shots and hope it cashes. I think you mentioned State's a great pick. Florida plus 2,200 is a great pick. I think Auburn and Ole Miss, Auburn at plus 1,400 and Ole Miss plus 1,900. I think those are, again, the value for as good as those teams are is really good, especially in Auburn, who I think, you know, is going to be a top 8 national seed. I think it's easy for whatever reason for us to forget how good they are. They're just kind of flying under the radar coming in. Obviously lost that series to Ole Miss to close the season. But, yeah, I just, like you said, man, I just go back to, and, you know, I've got LSU Arkansas as the semifinal to go to the championship, and it just seems like all roads are going to lead to that rematch. And I think those are 2 of the best teams in the country. You know, at the end of the day, I do think the cream rises to the top. So I'm sure, again, somebody's going to make a deep run that maybe I'm not giving enough credit to or thinking about. But I don't know, the top 4 in this league are about as stout as any year we've seen. So it feels like LSU or Arkansas is meant to go to the championship from that lower bracket, which I think that lower bracket is crazy loaded.
Yeah.
And the top side, I mean, who knows? You know, Texas is a 1 seed, but how good do we feel about Texas with the injuries? Vandy's a team that, you know, I think not enough people talk about as good as they are. Went 19-11 in the conference, didn't play Mizzou, didn't play South Carolina. Tennessee's always dangerous. I think Bama kind of being the home team, and then maybe they got a little something extra. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun week.
All right, last one, Chris. Do you see a team, like we've seen it in the SEC, when Mississippi State, you know, made a title run and Ole Miss makes a title run, you know, even though those teams, you know, had questions about getting into the postseason. Florida last year, they got to win on the last day of the season or they're not even eligible for the postseason. Then they get to Omaha. Do you have a team that you would say right now, if it happened, you wouldn't be shocked at all?
It's a good question. I'm going to stick with Mississippi State because they were a preseason Omaha pick for me.
Okay,
so
well, there you go.
I'd love to look. I'd love to look smart on that pick.
Yeah.
But I mean, you mentioned I think the fire they've caught with Justin Parker and the arms that they have, and I've talked to coaches throughout the season and said, when they were losing, that said it just didn't make sense. Like that team was really good.
Yeah.
Granted, they've got some holes in their lineup, but guys like Ace Reese, Noah Sullivan, Hunter Hines, these guys have really been coming alive. And I mean, if they're able to swing it a little bit, they've got plenty of pitching to give people some real headaches. I mean, they took LSU to the wire, if I remember correctly, down there at the box and made them earn every pitch. So, I mean, that's a team, obviously, like you said. I mean, you're not going to be excited to get Mississippi State as a 3 seed in your regional. And then I think, Florida's kind of the other under the radar that I'm just with Florida. I'm curious, are they going to hit a point where they run out of gas? That's the only thing because, when you only got 9 or 10 position players, it's just really, really difficult to, number one, stay healthy, but number two, everybody stay hot. We were out there at their practice yesterday and talking to Ty Evans, and he says, we're not healthy, but we are hot. So, I mean, they kind of know where they're at and what's going on. So those are the two under the radar. There's just so many, though. And I do think we're going to have at least one team make Omaha that's not one of the LSU, Arkansas, one of those favorites that we think about, whether it's a Vandy, whether it's a Kentucky, Oklahoma makes a run. Who knows? So it's those two I mentioned, Florida and State, I think are the most obvious sleepers. But, I mean, really just take your pick in this league.
All right, there he is, Chris Phillips. You see his work on SEC Unfiltered. Give SEC Unfiltered a follow on social media. Also, Chris at CPhilly19 is the handle there. They got it covered. Football, baseball, basketball, anything SEC, they are all over it. Chris, we appreciate the time, man. Look forward to our next conversation.
Yeah, Hester, I want to say congrats to you as well. Congrats to your guy T-Bob on the Barstool promotion, the Barstool job, if you will, the gig. And excited for you guys, this new era off the bench, man. Y'all do a great job, so I appreciate it.
No, we really appreciate the kind words, man. Enjoy Hoover and find an LSU fan.
I got you. I promise.
All right, there he is, Chris Phillips. Again, SEC Unfiltered does a really nice job there. You can check them out on social media. And I'm trying to pull up those odds right now. It was, and not every book is offering these, but I know FanDuel and I know DraftKings, and this is the FanDuel lines to win the SEC baseball tournament. Arkansas plus 250, LSU plus 410, Vandy plus 600, Texas plus 650, Tennessee plus 650, UGA plus 800, Auburn at plus 1,400, Ole Miss at plus 1,900, Florida plus 2,200, Mississippi State, Alabama, and A&M all plus 3,100, Kentucky, Oklahoma, some good value, plus 6,000 for both those teams, and then Missouri and South Carolina plus 10,000 that you might as well just light money on fire or throw it in the toilet if you bet that. But Kentucky and Oklahoma, really, I mean, plus 6,000. Might as well throw like $10 on it.
I don't hate it on the Oklahoma one. What was Auburn?
Plus 1,400.
That might be the play there.
Yeah, I kind of like that. But he had a really good point about Vandy. Vandy has quietly been a top dog in the SEC, and great point also made about how they didn't face Missouri or South Carolina, which are the bottom two teams in the SEC. So the Vandy one and the Auburn one are intriguing to me.
I think there's it's incredible value with a lot of those teams. I mean, look, $10 on Oklahoma or Kentucky can win you 600.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't mind it on Oklahoma. Kentucky's, I don't know.
I know,
they've been so hit or miss this year.
I know for sure. But they made the run last year.
They did.
Yeah.
They played the small ball. It's a little bit different than anybody else.
People like Nick Migione. I mean,
okay. Honestly, like if I was truly going to put some money, and not like crazy, but like if I was going to put some money on a long shot, it would be Mississippi State plus 3,100. They've won 5 games in a row.
Yeah, they're playing well.
They've been playing much better.
Hunter Hines is hot right now.
I mean, he is, every time he swings, it feels like it's leaving the ballpark. Yeah. So I'm going to play some money on Mississippi State plus 3,100, and if they don't win and the Tigers win, we all win.
There you go.
There you go. I mean, even LSU plus 410.
Yeah.
That feels like great value. It's one of those years in the SEC, and the new format, I think we do need to pay attention to that because Chris made some good points. I know he went chalky, but those teams are just saving their arms, and everybody else has got to fight like hell to get to that point, and they're probably going to use – like Mississippi State's in the postseason right now, but as a 3.
Yeah.
They don't want to be a 3. They want to be a 2. So they're going to throw their best arms probably to get to that point as well. And we could go like team by team and Florida and like how much they have left. And so it is going to be highly intriguing there in Hoover, even more so, I think, than normal years.
Because it's like we said earlier, Jay's going to treat this like every weekend ever where he's going to throw his ace out on Friday. So whoever makes it, whether it be Auburn, Mississippi State, or Texas A&M, because those are the three that could be playing LSU on Friday, they're probably not going to have what we have with Kate Anderson. So it'll be interesting to see, unless Auburn saves Sam Dutton.
It's wild. And again, this is like, it feels like I am just hate.
No.
I'm not. But just knowing who
It's
Sam
crazy.
Dutton was in his LSU career, right? He was the guy coming out of the bullpen for the Phillies, and we played the video, and now he's like a Friday night guy. Credit to him.
He was your Sunday starter his freshman year, but I mean, not really. He was your setup guy for Grant Taylor. Like, it was the game where he literally threw to one batter, and Jay pulled him out of the game and put in Grant Taylor. So, like, he was that early starter, kind of an opener, not really a starter. Like, he would go like 2 or 3 innings. And yeah, I mean, then he was buried in the bullpen, but like LSU couldn't hit him. I mean, LSU.
No.
Yeah, I mean, all
Had him
year.
in a bind. Had him in a bind all night long. All right, we will step away, and when we come back, Tay-Tay is going to give you a little LSU football. We've also got ESPN.com, who ranked their top 10 college football coaches for 2025. Find out if Brian Kelly made that list right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, as we've been telling you over the last couple of weeks and really like a little bit over a month now, like we are so fired up to be with Dos Equis. And we told you yesterday, we want to tell you again, whether you're tailgating outside of Tiger Stadium, watching the Saints on a Sunday, or just kicking back with your crew, Dos Equis brings that bold flavor and smooth finish that turns ordinary into legendary. It is not just a beer, it is the beer of champions, or at least the beer of guys who feel like champions, which we do here on OTB. There is not a bad time for Dos Equis. It is the perfect lake beer, beach beer, shower beer. Tay-Tay has things in the shower right now. Why not add a beer, right? So if you're watching the game, if you're watching the SEC baseball tournament, if you're in Hoover, you're listening to us right now in your RV, go grab some ice cold Dos Equis. Enjoy it. Enjoy the game. I know you're going to enjoy the beer. Go grab a Dos Equis today.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But
This is Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in to OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. And now we are going to talk a little LSU football before we get to this coaching top 10 from ESPN.com. Tay with some recruiting news for the Tigers.
Yeah, Bo Bentley over the weekend, actually on Sunday, said that LSU made his final two. So it's between LSU and the Oklahoma Sooners. Bo Bentley's a name we talked about a couple months ago, because there was about 3 quarterbacks that were uncommitted at the time for 2026. Look, you got Michael Van Buren in this class as that transfer. 2027 class is loaded. I mean, you have Elijah Haven, you have Peyton Houston, you have Colton Nussmeier. I believe your guy Phillip Rivers' kid, Gunner, he's in 2027. You don't really have a name, or is he 28?
No, he's 27. I mean, you've got was it 5 that we came up with that had some Louisiana LSU tie?
Yeah. And you don't have a guy for 2026. This is a name that we had highlighted because at the time he was uncommitted. He's now the highest ranked uncommitted quarterback in 2026. He's from Salina, Texas. He led his team to the state championship. How about these numbers? 3,400 yards, 52 passing touchdowns, but 990 yards rushing and 16 rushing touchdowns. He's a true dual threat. He's 6'2", he's 200 pounds. It was his first year starting in varsity last year, and he put up over 60 total touchdowns. I mean, he's a stud. And keep in mind, this is high-level Texas football.
Yeah,
this is not New Mexico.
Yeah. Man, I mean, first year as a starter and really – I wonder, what his recruiting profile looked like before, because I'm assuming, he went to some camps and stuff, and the recruiting process, is always wild to me. So, he was almost a guy – well, Flynn was like that, man. Flynn. He was a guy that didn't really start until later in his high school career. Now they ran the option. I can't imagine that slew-footed son of a gun running the option, but he did. And but he went to camps, and that's how he got recruited.
That's how Kyle Trask. So I don't know if you know the Kyle Trask story. Did not start in high school. He was De'Aaron King's backup.
Didn't know that.
And the team ran the option. He would come in and
he was a passing quarterback.
Yeah, he would come in, throw the ball, and went to camps. But no, Bo Bentley, this guy's a stud. You go watch his tape, everything about him. Okay, so the video I sent Flynn yesterday in our group chat. And I said, tell me what you think of this guy. That was Jared Curtis, because Jared Curtis is the #1 quarterback in the country. He's a 5-star, committed to Georgia recently, which is why Bo Bentley eliminated Georgia from consideration.
Yep.
I think Bo Bentley's better than Jared Curtis, just watching him. I mean, again, I haven't seen these guys every single play of them, but I've seen them a little bit. I think Bo Bentley's better. And I get it. Jared Curtis is 6'5", 230 pounds, but Bo Bentley can play. I mean, LSU, they could get a heck of a guy right here, a true dual.
And it feels like they've been, not only one of his favorites, but LSU's also, been highly intrigued with him.
Yeah.
With how they've pursued him compared to some other quarterbacks in this upcoming class.
I think he's the 5th ranked quarterback overall. I mean, depending, because 1-3 has one, 2-4-7 has one.
You're a top 10 position, any position.
Whoa, you go look at who's offered him. He's got over 2 dozen offers, all of them Power 4 programs. Yeah. I mean, everybody in the country wants this guy. I always care about that more than are you a 5-star, are you a 4-star? Look at who offered him. I mean, that's what I look at. This guy can play.
Yeah, and you're going to need a quarterback for that upcoming class. And again, you're going to get one in 27. You are going to get a high-level top 5 quarterback in 2027. And if you don't, that is an egregious mistake. You screwed something up if you don't, because it's a great class. It's one that people have talked about for 3 years already. And with so many LSU/Louisiana ties, Nussmeier, he's in Texas, but he's got obviously his brother being an LSU quarterback. You got Gunnar Rivers in Alabama, but his uncle, his coach, Stephen Rivers, was a quarterback at LSU. Like, you got a lot of different ties. And there's, 3 guys in Louisiana that are top-tier quarterbacks. So you're going to get one in 27 does not mean single year, certainly with the portal. And look, you having a starting quarterback from the SEC still be a young quarterback in your room, that's awesome, but you can't miss a cycle anymore.
No, you can't, especially with the portal. But also, Jake, like when Nussmeier leaves next year, you have Michael Van Buren, Colin Hurley, question mark.
Yeah.
And that's assuming both of those guys stick around.
Right.
Because they were both highly recruited guys. I imagine the guy that loses that quarterback battle next year is going to look for somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Hurley came in a year early, but that'll be his 3rd year in the program, and he still hasn't made an impact if he's not the one that starts. Same thing with Van Buren. Like, he had options in the portal.
Yeah.
He chose to come here and sit for a year. He's going to want that spot too. You got to get a guy in 2026.
Yeah, I would be shocked if he's not your starting quarterback next year. But, I mean, it will be certainly an open competition. All right, we will step away, and when we come back, we'll give you that list that we were talking about, top 10 coaches in college football, according to ESPN.com, and find out if Brian Kelly made the list here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Well, there was no plumbing needed yesterday in the parking lot, but normally, in normal behavior, you need plumbing whenever you have a situation that happened in the parking lot. So Central Plumbing is always going to be the place to go to, okay? So go to the website, centralplumbing.org. That number, 225-925-8552. Now, 24/7, 365, weekend game day does not matter. They will be there for you. Now that their best customer is also moving, they're going to be even more available to you. So go to the website today, see what they can do. Also, if you're looking to upgrade at your home, at your business, it can be maybe you got 3 restrooms at your place of business that you need fixed. Maybe it's a bathroom at your home that you want to give a new vanity, a new shower, a new tub, new tile, new whatever. They've got you covered. Centralplumbing.org. Again, 225-925-8552.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
I'm going back to 5:05. If it's a 7-hour flight or a 45-minute drive, in my imagination you're waiting, lying on your side, with your hands between your thighs. Stop and wait.
All right, welcome back in. It is OTB going through the ESPN.com top 10 coaches in college football in 2025. Did Brian Kelly make the list? Number 1, Kirby Smart, UGA, which that spot right there used to have like just a firm, like just stranglehold on it. There's no other way to really say it. And you know, he got 11 of the 12 first place votes, but it's an interesting year for Kirby. They still made the college football playoff, won the SEC, but they were so dominant. And we always talk about it. Can they still stay up with that dominance? We'll see. 105-19 as the head coach of the Georgia Bulldogs. That is just remarkable with how good the SEC's been to have that kind of record. At number 2, Ryan Day, Ohio State. No surprise there. Just won a national championship. Number 3, Dabo Swinney, Clemson. Number 4, Marcus Freeman, of course, Notre Dame. Number 5, Steve Sarkisian, Texas Longhorns. And number 6, Dan Lanning, the Oregon Ducks, 35-6 there at Oregon. Been impressive for Dan Lanning. I actually thought he would be higher on this list. At number 7, Kalen DeBoer out of Alabama. At number 8, James Franklin out of Penn State. I got questions about that one. Number 9, Kyle Whittingham at Utah. Love Kyle Whittingham. Also questions about that one. And at number 10, Matt Campbell out of Iowa State. So no Brian Kelly for top 10 coaches, according to ESPN.com, heading into the 2025 season. Now, Brian Kelly's not the only surprise that was not on this list for me. And this was a voting system, and they had a panel, and everybody got different points depending on how many votes they got. And look, James Franklin, I need to see more from James Franklin. Kyle Whittingham, love him, love the grit, love the sleeveless shirt, riding the motorcycle into game day. All of that is like too gritty to be pretty. I love it. But they had a down year last year. No Cam Rising. He retires from football. We'll see what they do. And then Matt Campbell, I appreciate what Matt Campbell's been. 64-52 at Iowa State. Iowa State's not an easy job. He was always the next guy to get the next big job. He stayed at Iowa State. I appreciate that. There's been some ups and downs there in Ames, Iowa, so that one's a little bit surprising. And here is also receiving votes. Well, Brian Kelly would be 11 on this list, so he was the next name. It was followed by Bill Belichick. How about that, though? Bill Belichick hadn't done anything in college football, but 6-time Super Bowl winning coach is on others receiving votes, and we got Matt Campbell and James Franklin in the top 10.
I'm good with Belichick not being in the top 10. I think James Franklin, look, I get it. Brian Kelly is underachieved here at LSU. He has. A lot of people are going to say that. You got to make the college football playoff. And maybe it's recency bias with
Especially
Penn State.
an expanded one. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt.
With
Without
Penn
question.
State making the playoff last year, but you beat Boise State and SMU. A lot of people thought they may have had the easiest path to the playoff.
They did.
James Franklin, against top 10 teams since he has been a head coach, is 4-19 against top 10 teams. He's 3-10 when his team is also in the top 10. So say what you want about Brian Kelly not getting into the playoff. I get that. Brian Kelly's won some big games. James Franklin struggles in big games a lot of the time.
Yeah,
he made the playoff, but I can't put him in 8 overall.
No, I'm right there with you. Others receiving votes, Kurt Cignetti, Indiana, Lance Leipold at Kansas, Jeff Monken at Army, Jeff Brom at Louisville, Kenny Dillingham at Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham probably going to be on this list next year. Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss, Deion Sanders at Colorado, Josh Heupel at Tennessee, Rhett Lashley at SMU, Chris Kleiman, Kansas State. Any other surprises outside of maybe Brian Kelly, who would be 11 on this list, and kind of tells you what the nation thinks about BK and the expectation and what he has to do this year in Baton Rouge? Any other name?
I'd put Dillingham higher. I mean, I get it. It's only been 1 year, but what he did, that team was picked to finish dead last in the Big 12, and he won the damn thing. And
brought Texas to overtime of a Peach Bowl.
In the playoff, and that team made it to the semifinals.
They were a missed targeting call away from.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kenny Dillingham should be higher. I get that he's young, but what he's done, I mean, I like it better than a Matt Campbell.
Yeah, Matt Campbell in this list. Matt Campbell's that one guy that every single year, every job comes open, he's like the first name that people talk about, and he's stabilized that program, but they've never taken that step that we all thought that they would continue to take. Now, they got hammered by Arizona State in the Big 12 championship game. And if they win that game, they're in the college football playoff, and it's a different conversation. But, Arizona State by far was the best team in the Big 12, and so, they weren't really that close there. So, but it is interesting to see Brian Kelly not on this list. Normally, when you see a top 10 list, he's always going to be included. It just kind of tells you, again, we'll go back to it, everyone needs/wants to see Brian Kelly take LSU to an expanded 12-team playoff. And this year, that expectation is going to be as high as it's ever been in his tenure here in Baton Rouge. All right, hour 3, OTB, when we jump back.
Off the bench.
All right, go to ktozblinds.com for K to Z interiors and outdoor living. Been doing it since 2004. Now, interior and outdoor living. They can help you, in both scenarios. They've helped me interior. We needed a shade for our kitchen. They came in. It was like a one-day deal. They installed it. It's great. Durability is great. Then outdoor living. They've done that with the motorized shade, which so many different things that it does for us. It helps watching TV in the living room. Takes away all glares. It completely cools down the living room. Certainly in a time now, when the sun's back there and it would normally heat up the house, and it takes care of so many problems for us. But also, we had a crawfish boil, and we're like, hey, let's throw the crawfish on the table. Let's drop the shade. We can still be outside, right? It's hot, but we're not miserable because we got this shade. We can enjoy each other's company. I mean, so many different options. Go to the website, ktozblinds.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Tuesday, May 20th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high of 90 in hour 3 of today's show. Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football hops on at 9 a.m. Then we'll close the show out with Ask the Bench. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
Welcome back into OTB 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge, hour number 3 here on a Tuesday morning. It is Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., so you know we're going to have our guy, Nick Underhill, New Orleans Football, join us. Now, Nick, what is going on, sir? Hope you're doing well this morning.
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. We had a little situation yesterday in the parking lot where somebody decided that they would just drop their pants and use the restroom in our parking lot here. It got on my car, probably Alondra's car, but we don't know, like, if it was somebody in protest of T-Bob moving to Chicago, if it was T-Bob himself. And so that's what we've been Dragnet style trying to investigate ourselves to figure out who it was.
Well, I mean, he was on his way out of town yesterday, right?
I know, yeah, and he was here. He showed up, and he didn't say what's up to us, which we thought was weird, but maybe he was just trying to cover it up.
Yeah, I think we got to put him on the top of the list.
Yeah, there's no question. We are going to interrogate him as soon as he gets back from Chicago. So, Nick, obviously there's a lot of news there for the New Orleans Saints swirling around, and one of the biggest things that we've heard over the last couple of days is the Saints aren't bringing in a veteran quarterback. They are going to roll with their young guys. And so, like, for you and, having your ear to the ground, like, what's the latest you're hearing there? Did they get close to bringing in a veteran quarterback? It just wasn't the right one. Do they truly believe in their young quarterback room that, has a rookie, a second-year guy, and a third-year guy?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of a terrifying room a little bit. I mean, just even in the sense of just having like a good caddy around. I mean, who's that guy? Who can be the Andy Dalton, the McCown to the Breeze? I think just having that guy around, especially with the young quarterback, is kind of important. You look at their staff, though. Kellen Moore's 35. He played quarterback in the league. Tolzien played quarterback in the league. Nussmeier did. I mean, there's a lot of guys with experience, but look, you guys would know this better than me. I just think that there's probably a benefit to having somebody around that you can ask a question to where you don't feel like you're getting judged by your superior, your boss. When you're a new guy, you're a rookie, trying to find your way around, maybe being afraid to ask that dumb question. It's different when it's a peer. And I think that's missing in that group. I would, if I identify Shuck as the quarterback for my team for the future, at that point, I'd be willing to do anything necessary to help his development. And I personally think that guy can be helpful to that group, not even necessarily in a, hey, this guy's going to go play, like just someone that can show him the way around. And, Rattler's a year 2 guy. Jake Haener's been around for 3 years. Those guys are players that still see their candle burning brightly with the flame all the way up. And, I think that there's some guys you get to the end of your career and you understand, hey, I'm going to make more money and be in the league longer, if I'm willing to be, more helpful, if I put this other guy ahead of myself, that's my role in the league now. I'm not saying Rattler and Haener won't do that. I'm not saying they won't have that perspective. I just think it's more likely that you find it with somebody else. And, I do think that is a hole on the roster right now.
It's actually a great point that you make. I didn't even really thought about that. We talked about bringing in somebody that's got maybe 6-7 years of time in the NFL. Maybe they've got 10, 15 starts. It doesn't even have to be somebody as established as an Andy Dalton, but just bringing somebody in that could be, a different mindset in the quarterback room because he's been through different things. And you mentioned like asking questions, and I didn't even think about that. That's a great point because I know for me, like when I was a rookie, I was going into a room that had LaDainian Tomlinson, like one of the best running backs to ever do it. We had a Darren Sproles. And so like, instead of asking the coach, well, I'm going to lean on those two guys. Like, hey, I acted like I knew what I was talking about in this pass protection meeting, but I really need you to kind of help me break it down. And those guys were great, and they would do it every single time. Man, I didn't want to ask the coach ever because I didn't want the coach to think like I didn't know what I was doing. And when you're in a quarterback room that's super young like that, you have to ask the coach. And everybody's in a competition too, so they want to help you out.
Yeah, they got their knives out. Like they want to see you sink. It really, any job, you don't ever want to go to the boss and hey, he just talked about this and I don't understand what the hell he's saying at all. Like you don't want to do that. They're going to think you're an idiot. I mean, you're trying to win a job. You want to look like the most put together person. So if there's someone that you could just go to and not have to fake it with, and again, I think it comes in the form of that older guy that's had his shot, has been around, has fought, and is just kind of understanding of where he is and is realistic about the career trajectory at that point. And, I would be looking for it, and I'd be cool with letting the battle play out for a little bit, but you get, a couple weeks into camp, Shuck's your guy, and you're starting them week one. I'd be willing, to make a trade to try to bring somebody in. Cause like, I really feel like that's an important piece of the puzzle. And, that dynamic's missing a little bit.
So when you see Shuck out there with the other quarterbacks, Nick, he obviously looks different. I mean, Spencer Rattler, Jake Haener are just not big guys, and they're talented guys. They got great arms. I don't want to, besmirch their name here, but Tyler Shuck looks completely different in his uniform. Like, was that something that you think could be felt? Like when you go out there and you watch those guys all compete when they go into training camp, like it is kind of odd to say because you should base it off talent, but he looks different. He looks the part, and it's somebody that you drafted, obviously 40th overall, your highest draft choice at that position since the 70s. Like, it's going to be hard, I think, for those other two guys to win over this quarterback battle because I think Tyler Shuck has some advantages that maybe they can't even help.
No question about it. I mean, that was probably the biggest difference. We're used to seeing, guys that are 6 feet tall going back for 20 years. True. There was the brief Jameis Winston interlude, the little 7-game stretch there where you got some hype, but Taysom shorter, Rattler shorter, Andy Dalton's not like a huge guy. So it definitely looks completely different. And Thursday will be the first time we get to look at an OTA, and we'll be able to see these guys kind of back to back to back. But I thought I saw it kind of, just right away with him, just with the movement skills, the arm, the ability, his most impressive moments in the rookie camp were when he was on the move, on the bootlegs, when they're going through, some drills where they're stepping over some pads, throwing the ball off platform on the run. Like his physical traits, I think, just pop immediately. And, I think they should. When you watch him, you go back to the college stuff. It's really just when things get messy. I don't think you can really go through it and say, he's lacking arm talent. He can't move. Even when you go back to Oregon, like going way back, when they were actually moving him around more, having him do more design runs, like the ability there pops off the screen too. I don't know if at Louisville they were kind of trying to protect him from injury or what. I saw a McShay interview where he talked about how they kind of took all that stuff out of the offense for him. If they can introduce that stuff back in, I think his physical traits are obviously, going to be something that stands out. And they should. I mean, he's picked 40. Spencer Rattler was picked 150. I mean, obviously different drafts, quarterback talent, dictates where people go. But, I mean, that's a 110 pick difference. However you want to try to equate that. I mean, the league's telling you kind of, who has more natural physical gifts. And, I think he has, every chance to be good. If this offensive line is what they think it's going to be with Fuaga and Banks and, McCoy and all this investment in it, it should be a good group if everything comes together as they think. If you can protect him, I think that there's a chance for him to actually be good, but it is going to come down to a lot of the stuff around him. And really, I don't know how much a quarterback can recalibrate that mentality of how they react when they're under pressure. Maybe there's a little more confidence in it. I remember I was covering the Patriots at the time, and Jarrett Stidham was kind of similar to that. Someone with like all the, he had all the tools, but he kind of panicked a little bit under pressure. He never quite figured it out. Maybe Shuck can. Maybe they can protect him to where it doesn't become a huge issue. But that is going to be the thing that I think determines the quality of his career.
You mentioned the offensive line. Trevor Penning to guard. Got any legs to it?
Yeah, I think they're really going to try him out at every spot. I have doubts. And, I'm not trying to be unfair to anyone. I have doubts that he's going to be able to handle that. I mean, I just don't know that things happening quicker is going to be the thing that makes him succeed. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. They were trying Banks out at both guard or both tackle spots, and he did get a couple snaps at both guard spots, but mostly on the left side at the rookie camp. I think they're going to go through it like that. Some of the people I've talked to around the team are kind of open to the idea of really having a strong left side of the line with Fuaga at tackle, Banks at guard for a year, Penning at the other tackle spot for a year, and then a year from now kind of recalibrating it and kind of setting it up to where, you get maybe Fuaga at the long-term right spot, Banks at the left. I would cringe a little bit if they took a guy at 9 that becomes a career guard. I mean, the bar is just really, really high there. I just don't. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm discounting Penning's ability, but just putting him at that spot, I don't know. It kind of gives me shivers a little bit just thinking about him trying to figure out just flipping sides is one thing, but it is different on the inside and things happening faster. I mean, he kind of struggles with that, and I don't know. We'll see though.
Man, it has got to be one of the better offensive lines. Like it has to be. I think. Certainly in division, but in the NFL, I mean, you talk about assets and having all these first rounders and then a second rounder at center. Like they have tried, and if it doesn't work out again, that looks so poor on their evaluation skills, Nick, of what they can do, because like we're talking about an offensive line that if you wanted to, you could have first round picks across the board and a second round pick at center.
Man, like if this isn't the strength of the team this year, like so much has gone wrong. It would be impossible for him to almost not be good, going forward at that position. Because like the bar's not even that high to have a good offensive line. Like obviously there's the Eagles and they're the outlier, but you really go through the league. There aren't a lot of teams with like 3 guys with a positive PFF score, and that's not the the end all be all barometer, but just using it as like a rough gauge, like if guys with the score of 70 or higher. I looked at it last year coming in, like trying to figure out what the bar was just for them to be serviceable, and it was really shockingly low. And they should have 3+ guys this year. I mean, it should be Banks, it should be McCoy, it should be Fuaga, and Ruiz and Penning. Ruiz more than Penning should be serviceable, but like if Fuaga's not a strength this year and Banks isn't a strength this year, like you're right, it is just a catastrophe of roster asset mismanagement if they are not able to give Tyler Shuck some protection up front.
Catching up with our guy Nick Underhill, New Orleans Football is the site, definitely the go-to place for all your New Orleans Saints news. Speaking of like maybe buzz from some rookies, as we talked about, of course, the quarterback position and Tyler Shuck. Any other rookies maybe get some of that buzz as we had a chance to see them a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, I like all the running backs they brought in, and just even like going like way down the list, the UDFA Yarns, like he had some like legitimate.
Had a great Senior Bowl,
skills.
by the way.
Yeah, man, he can move, he can play. We'll see, like, when they're actually, able to hit him and all that stuff. But, like, there were a couple things where he catch a ball and just kind of, turn and go up the field. And just, like, the hip fluidity and just, like, the quick movement skills really stood out. And that could be an asset. That battle is going to be, like, super, super interesting. The fact that they already got Mims out of here, kind of speaks volumes. the Kendra Miller thing is a huge camp storyline. They don't have any tie to this guy. Like the third round pick going into him does not matter, and there is legitimate competition. Yeah, so he's going to have to prove it and picking up another playbook, the third one in 3 years. I mean, that was the big issue with him last year, is that he couldn't get himself lined up, and he's just not assignment sound. And if this is the issue again, I could see him being out of here. I mean, I really think he has something to prove. The tight end, I think I'm not even going to try to say his name, multi-moto.
Hey, we'll get there in September.
Yeah, we'll learn it. We'll learn it for sure. But I think he has a golden opportunity here. This going into these OTAs and minicamp too. Holker has an ankle injury, which I think is probably going to keep him sidelined here for a little bit. I don't think Foster's ready to be out there, so there's a huge opportunity to kind of show what you can do there. So I think that's going to be really interesting too.
What about the news over the weekend? And it could be internet rumors, it could just be nothing, and it could be one team wanting and the other team not listening. But Chris Olave to the Steelers, that was something that kept finding its way on my timeline. Any truth to that rumor?
I'm always reluctant to shut these things down because a GM once told me when I called up about a rumor, he was just like, man, like these things tend to be like self-fulfilling. Like if people start making stuff up, like people see it, and then all of a sudden they start making calls, and then somebody might make the call and say the right thing, and all of a sudden, you're willing to accept a trade that you weren't even thinking about before.
Right.
So I wouldn't say Chris Olave is untouchable. I think if someone offered the right thing, they would trade him, but I think the cost would be really high.
Mm-hmm.
I think the idea of trading your best receiver when you're trying to bring along a rookie quarterback and try to make him work, that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. And then the other thing is like, have the Steelers been a super aggressive team this offseason? I mean, they've made a couple moves. They don't even have a quarterback at this point. I mean, it's just kind of one that, I don't know. I don't think it makes a ton of sense to me. But look, at some point, if this team isn't good, but I think you got a year to kind of make this decision. But if you're not good, your quarterback doesn't hit, and you are in the full-on rebuild, I think next offseason it would make a lot of sense to trade him off, because all of a sudden he isn't on the same timeline as you. But if Shuck shows promise, all of a sudden I don't care about paying a wide receiver $25 million, or whatever it takes,
right?
Because you aren't paying your quarterback now. That's kind of how it goes. Like Pat Mahomes is on the rookie contract. You're paying every wide receiver in the world. All of a sudden you got to pay Pat Mahomes, and Tyreek Hill's gone, and you got a bunch of receivers nobody's ever heard about. And it's on the quarterback to make them better. But those first 4 years, I don't have a problem paying the wide receiver if I got to, because I'm not paying him.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking, my only issue is, if you traded him now, you are just saying we are not going to be competitive this year, just because that's one of my biggest question marks is the weapons. Okay, the offensive line, we think it's going to be solidified. AK, I still think has some juice in the tank. I like the young running backs. You've invested in tight end. Receiver, you were playing with dudes that were like Uber drivers last year. That can't happen again. And so that was my only reluctant. I was reluctant to give myself over to the Steelers and the rumor, just because Nick, if he's not out there, you're signaling to everybody we're tanking, basically, which the Saints have been reluctant to do.
Yeah, and look, that's fine, but I think there's also a line where you got to prioritize the development of your quarterback in some respects too. And man, you're taking away the one guy that can run. Well, I mean, I guess Cooks can kind of too, but Olave is really the one guy that can run every route. He's your best receiver. He's sure-handed. He's the one guy that might be able to elevate your quarterback at least a little bit. And taking him out of there, man, I don't know. I'm all for tanking and rebuilding and getting the best pick possible. I think there needs to be some of that in their thought process too. But there has to be a balance of where, how is Tyler Shuck developing confidence in himself if he can't complete a pass? I think you just need one guy that he feels really good about throwing to. And to me, that looks like Olave, but maybe it could be Cooks. Maybe Shaheed develops a little bit more. He's somebody else that's kind of, he's still, some of those things in the playbook haven't been all the way there for him. Maybe they are now. But Olave is the one guy that feels like he has everything put together. And man, I would be really reluctant to take him off this roster when I'm trying to make a second round quarterback work.
Hey, Nick, one more thing before we let you go. And, of course, we're catching up with our guy, Nick Underhill. We mentioned a lot of the offensive guys. Well, we know offense is the superior side of the football. We do have to talk about those other guys, as my dad would say, those turds over on defense. Any guy like maybe pop for you? Because, I mean, I actually am excited about a couple of the guys they drafted. I think they're going to be some value picks. Anybody there pop for you over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, all we saw is rookie camp. I like Sanker, man. Like he just kind of has a little bit of a presence on the field. He looks like he's got some edge to him. I'm really excited to see when he can start hitting some people. Quincy Riley, I'm interested to see him. He was out with injury that nobody wants to talk about. I guess he has some type of procedure like sometime this offseason.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we'll see what happens with him. But I like Sanker a lot. You know, the one guy I'm really, and this is like we're getting on that complete, like the super third side of the ball. I wouldn't want to know what your dad says about these guys, but you know, I'm excited to see the punter, man. Like I don't feel like they've been good at punting since you know, really Morstead left. They really haven't had a good answer at that position. And just for like the comedy, I think Burnup's like 6'6". Like I want to see him standing next to Groupie just to get the picture to see what it kind of looks like.
Yes.
But yeah, man, I like Sanker. I like watching him. I like, you know, not only on defense, again, special teams. Like if you go through and watch him, like he made a ton of special teams plays. I think he has a chance to be like really special in that phase. And you know, getting him in that room with Tyron and Reed, I think is going to be, you know, really good for him. You get a year. There's a lot of traits there, and he is one of them guys. You go out there and you're like, wait, who's that? And you know, you look at the roster, it's like, oh, all right, like that's a good first impression to make in rookie camp.
All right, there he is, our guy, Nick Underhill, NewOrleans.football. Go ahead and subscribe. I promise you will not be disappointed. The go-to place for all of your New Orleans Saints news. Nick, we appreciate it every single week. We'll catch up again with you next Tuesday.
Yeah, man, I appreciate like no Andor comments or like, you know, just a straight football talk.
Yeah, you know, I hadn't seen any of that, so that's exactly what you're going to get, Nick.
I appreciate it, man. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, again, Nick Underhill, one of the absolute best, has the Saints just fully smothered and covered from every single angle. All right, we will step away. More OTB coming your way on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Off the bench.
All right, go to BoudreauxElectrical.com. BoudreauxElectrical.com is the place to go to if you're looking for that generator, that whole home generator, right? If you want to have, you know, just peace of mind, because if the weather goes out right now, you're in a bind, right? It is hotter than hot already here in May. It is only going to get hotter. The last thing that you want or you need is for your family to be without power. So go ahead. You can get a free quote, top right corner of BoudreauxElectrical.com. I promise you it is going to be valuable for your home. If you want to give them a call, though, you want to talk through it on the North Shore, 985-397-1562. Here in the greater Baton Rouge area, 225-300-9389. Tell them what you're looking for. Have them come out to your home, get you set up. That is BoudreauxElectrical.com. More power, more protection.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
This is Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in to OTB here on a Tuesday morning, and well, we have done figured it out. I told you this is going to be Dragnet today. Throughout the show, we're going to get clues. We're going to find out more information, and there's a lot of different possibilities that it could have been, and who used the restroom literally in our parking lot and on my car. And T-Bob was a suspect because. Well, it's T-Bob and obvious reasons. Where we're located, like sometimes people just walk by,
Yeah.
A lot of people just walk by here in
That was
Guarantee.
my first assumption.
Mine too.
I thought it was a crackhead.
Bluntly put, yes.
Answer. Like,
very bluntly put, yes.
That is the only person that I would be like, they'd randomly just go number two in a parking lot.
That's completely fair,
crackhead.
and that's what we love about you. You don't hold anything back, Alondra, because that's what I thought as well. It turns out, no, Tay-Tay, I think you got some information. We're not going to give names or anything like that, but it turns out it was literally somebody that had an emergency.
Yeah, I was walking past Cade and Bo in the hallway, and they were talking about it. I'm like, wait, y'all have seen this?
Yeah.
Apparently, okay, I feel bad for the guy because he had an emergency. Again, I have to see this footage because...
Which Landon says he's going to show us.
There's apparently video of him like holding his stomach, beating on the door, trying to get in.
Ooh.
and he can't. So he just goes in the parking lot, and I mean, I guess you're stuck in traffic. You got to do what you got to do. What we're going to do is, though, we're going to do some more digging. We're going to find you where Moscona normally parks so that he can have it next time so Jake gets a little bit of a break. Again, you can use my truck. I get hate mail twice a week. People just go in my truck for the fun of it. So you can use my red truck around back if you would like to, but...
Yeah, this was somebody
feel for the guy, but I have to see this.
No. You do not have to feel for the guy. Again, there's a porta potty right behind here. There's gas station. There's a dumpster. There's a Sonic. There's other
so
places than my car.
Also, my other thing is I think if it was that much of an emergency, wouldn't you just like do it in your own car?
Or how about this? If you have an emergency where you can't get somewhere and in broad daylight you have to poop on someone's car and in a business parking lot, how about this? How about your ass cleans up what you left?
True. Yeah.
How about you pick up your soiled underwear and the fecal matter that you left beside it?
I think leaving the
like
underwear
what?
is worse.
If it was an emergency and you're sane, right? You know what you're doing. Pick it up.
I think leaving the underwear is the worst part. You can even pick that up. I mean, you can fold that up, throw it in your trunk, deal with it
I
later.
mean, pick it all up. Like, go get a baggie.
Yeah.
Like, hey guys, I just ished on your thing. I'm sorry. I tried to beat on the door. Nobody was there. Can I get a grocery bag?
So brutal.
Or to
Can I
your
get
point,
something?
if you couldn't make it to Sonic to take a dump, can you make it to Sonic and get a bag? Just say, hey, can I have an empty bag?
Yeah, but to leave it? Like, I don't feel sorry for you.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
glad
leave
you
it.
had stomach cramps.
Don't leave it.
I'm glad you had bubble guts. I hope you still have bubble guts. I hope Pepto-Bismol isn't touching what you have right now. Imodium ain't working. You're going to leave your soiled underwear. And why on my car? Why not just on the ground? Yeah. That means you put your ass cheeks on my hood.
Yeah, because how did it get on you?
Yeah.
Like, it was
because he put
up.
his butt on my car.
The picture we got from you, it was high up on your hood. Like, that didn't splatter from the
No.
ground. That was put there directionally.
I'm just kind of all putting that part of it together, that he
Yeah.
probably had
Yeah.
bare ass on my
your
car. And why he thought that going on the car. Actually, now that we're talking this through, and I know that he was in a mindset where he knew what he was doing, we got to fight on principle.
Yeah.
Like, it is on site. When you bring that kind of behavior into the
insane
workplace,
behavior.
like, that's crazy behavior, we're going to have a crazy talk.
So I know you said, like, he may have had his cheeks on your car. I hate to do this. The only way to ask you guys how this is to show you. Like, do you think maybe, like, he stood on your
You're doing
hood,
too much right now.
was here on the hood and then went down that way?
I don't know. But again, like, this is the most disrespectful thing I think that you could possibly do. It's marking your territory, right? It's like in the wild, peeing on something to mark it as mine. Bring yourself up here. You're going to catch a fade, and we're going to be done with it. But when you put your butt cheeks on my car, and when you leave the underwear and the pile of poo next to it, that's disrespectful. That's challenging us. OTB's too alpha for that ish, and we got to fight.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
You know who you are.
You know what you did, so bring your ass back up here.
I just don't understand how that's...
With some different underwear on.
Like, I totally get it that nobody could let you in the door or whatever, but I don't get how that's your last resort is to, like, in public, broad daylight. Broad daylight, 8:45 a.m. in the morning. I don't get it.
And, like, yeah, like, to her point, like, you go straight from knocking on the door to a building, not trying another building, straight to the parking
Like, it's so
lot.
public.
That's not a...
Y'all, it was so high up on my car, and I don't drive a sedan. I drive a mid-sized SUV.
It was at the top of your grill.
Lurch wouldn't have had like an easy time
No.
getting it as high as it was. This man had to work to get it that high. I'm so pissed right now. Like, I honestly thought it was somebody that was not in the right mindset. They had some extracurricular activities going on. That's what happened. Okay, whatever.
Again.
The fact that it was somebody that's got a real job that just had the bubble guts and decided to pull into this
Just like an
parking
actual
lot
person.
and crap on someone's car.
And I bet
that
didn't
is
call.
like animal behavior.
I bet they didn't even let anybody know, like, hey, this was me, because Alondra was the one that found it. Like, Landon didn't know
Unfortunately,
anything
it
about
was-
it until she
it
mentioned
was
it.
me, yeah.
So, like, you can't knock on the door and be like, hey, this is what happened. I bet until you mentioned it this morning, they weren't going to say anything.
Man, like, what's this handle? T5 Degrade saying chill. Like, was your car pooped on? Did you have to go through a car wash and have to scrub poop off your car? We're not chilling. I mean, what?
How is one chill about this?
Yes.
Only us.
Mm.
Like, this is literally something that would only happen to
Like,
us.
at least like reimburse me for the car wash. It was $22.
Wild.
This is crazy.
Anybody out there own a detailing shop and they want to hook Jake up?
Yeah. Man, don't let me find out your name. Golly. Bubble guts. Not crack. Bubble guts was the reason
This
why.
whole time I thought it was crack.
Me too. I thought it
That
was
makes
as
sense.
well.
When we found out it was a normal person, I was in shock.
Yeah, I'm in shock now. And again,
It's
if
not
this
a
normal
normal
person had to do it in front of our car because he was hiding himself and he did it and then he picked it up after him, dude, all good. The fact that he left it almost like I dare you to say something. I'm marking my territory. That's one thing. The fact that it's on the hood of the car, that's another. This is egregious. This is a step too far. We need names. We need the name right now. I was going to try to be nice guy and not bring it to air, but now that I'm playing the details out in my head, that's the only thing that can happen. I'm getting more mad the more I talk about it. Did he know it was my car? I think so. Crazy. I'm going to break. More OTB next.
Off the bench.
Crazy. Put it in the trash. Put it in the trash. You did it. Pick up your stanky underwear in the pile and put it in a dumpster. Brought to you by Trash Rangers. Doesn't matter what size. It's a lot, but it would fit in any three of the sizes that they offer. All right. 225-363-9053. Tell them the situation you got going on. This situation they probably wouldn't believe, but they'd have the right size dumpster for it. 3 different sizes to choose from. You give them a call, tell them what you're doing at your home, your business, how big the project is, and they make sure it's there. Our guy T-Bob's gone through 2 different dumpsters at Trash Rangers, and they were there like within 30 minutes of making the call. That's the kind of service you're going to get with Trash Rangers. Also, if you're lucky enough to have their residential or commercial service, bottom of the website, sign up today. You can sign up for the roll-off dumpster as well. Go to the website. That's trashrangers.com, trashrangers.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
This is Off the Bench.
Happiness hit her like a train on a track.
All right, welcome back in. OTB 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We'll move on from Poopgate and talk a little SEC baseball tournament. We're trying to get it on here in studio. Tay, does that mean that we cannot get it?
No, we can, but we don't have the app, so I have to figure out which one of these services it's on. I just don't know which one the SEC network is on.
If we don't have the app, I don't think it's not going to be like on the apps that we have. Number 9, Alabama taking on number 16, Missouri. That first pitch was, I think, 9 minutes ago. So hopefully we can get some here in studio. SEC baseball tournament today. Here's how the schedule lays out. It is that game that we just mentioned, game number 1 between Alabama and Missouri. After that, you've got Oklahoma, the 12 seed, taking on 13 seed Kentucky. Following that is going to be 10 seed Florida taking on 15 seed South Carolina. And then the nightcap is going to be 11 seed Mississippi State taking on 14 seed Texas A&M. Texas A&M needs to win. They need to win in the worst way. If they don't win this, their postseason dreams are completely over. South Carolina, that's a tough matchup with Florida. They're probably done. Same thing with Missouri. Oklahoma, Kentucky, Mississippi State, and the Florida Gators for sure. They all feel like they are safe right now. I'm not sure what else they would have to do to add to their resume. Texas A&M's probably the one that we're looking at the closest there to see if they can add. And every year that we talk about Hoover, we talk about what does the team need to do? What about some of the other teams, right, that didn't get the double bye but just a single bye? Tennessee, they are an 8 seed. Georgia is a 5 seed. Ole Miss is a 7 seed. The Auburn Tigers are a 6 seed. Tennessee has some work to do, like some major work if they want to host a regional, which we've talked about. Alondra, fall from grace there for the Tennessee Vols. That was a team that was number 1 team in the country not that long ago, and now not
Reigning
even looking like they're
champs.
going to be hosting a regional.
Yeah, they have really fallen off at the end of this season, and we talk about it all the time. Baseball really is about getting hot at the right time. We talked about it with Texas, too, where they have been hot the entirety of the season, and then their ace, Spencer, gets injured, and things have been going a little south since then. They did sweep Texas A&M, but other than that, haven't been doing too hot. But, yeah, it is about getting hot at the right time, and Tennessee just falling apart at the end of the season. They have lost 6 of their last 7 series.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not good at all. So that's the pinnacle, quote unquote, of college baseball. That is not doing too great. I think they're 21 now in the rankings. So I think they have to do really, really well this week if they want to host a regional. I think it's pretty out the question.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And any team can get hot. Certainly any of those teams that are in the SEC, certainly any of those teams that are in the group of Tennessee and Georgia and Ole Miss and Auburn, they can get hot. They can go make the run. Tennessee has one of the best pitchers in the country. And so, if he's out there and he's dealing and you're going to almost get a guaranteed victory when he is out there, like, sure. But still going to be a long way to go for them. I think they would need to win this game. They would need to beat number 1 Texas. They might need to go all the way in the SEC championship, certainly make a run all the way until Sunday. So, and by the way, like the SEC, the all SEC baseball team was announced.
Oh, yeah.
And like, we're going to be biased here, so just know that already. But, like, even if we step away, like, I don't know where you place him, but Anthony Ianson not being first team All-SEC when he is literally 3rd in strikeouts in the nation and, like, what he's done the back half of this season. Again, I get it. I get all the pitchers on there, including Cade Anderson, one of your own. But, like, the fact that he's not first team All-SEC, it tells you, like, the depth of the pitching in the conference.
Yeah.
But, like, that, I would have had a hard time keeping him all first team.
So Hunt has a really good write-up over at LouisianaSports.net right now called Statistically Speaking, and he lays it out. Anderson and Ianson dominate league play, SEC play, whatever you want to call it. But he did look back at some of the top pitching that we've had. So from last year, Holman and Jump, right? There are 2 that we really relied on. Last season in SEC play, Luke Holman had 69 strikeouts. Gage Jump had 61. Cade Anderson has 96 strikeouts in SEC play. Anthony Ianson has 86.
Yeah.
Holman and Jump allowed 51 earned runs and pitched a 4.24 ERA in league play. This year, they allowed Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson allowed 43 and 10 more innings for a league ERA of 3.41. So just ridiculous. And again, statistically speaking, they are dominating. So I think that's so insane. And I think they got snubbed. And I think Cade Anderson also got snubbed for pitcher of the year.
Yeah,
Liam Doyle is obviously great.
He's great. He's great. Yeah.
But the clip that Cade Anderson is pitching at is so insane. I can't even comprehend it. It's like Paul Skeens.
It was almost like, okay, we're going to give y'all one pitcher, not two.
Yeah.
And they already predetermined that.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't give you two, even though both deserve to be first team All SEC.
You could say the last 3 weeks, Ianson maybe have been the hotter of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, year long, Anderson's your ace, no question about it. But last 3 or 4 weeks or so,
I mean, they've both been incredibly
Ianson's
just
been
money for sure. And Anthony Ianson's been we expected him to be good coming from UC San Diego. We got to be honest with ourselves. We got to raise our hands. Nobody saw this. I mean, third in the nation in strikeouts. Also, the ERA is down as well. It's been remarkable. A great 1-2 punch. I think the best 1-2 punch in the country, and that's why that gives you every opportunity in a regional, super regional format to go out there and get to Omaha. So
8 double-digit strikeout games for Cade Anderson this season. Ridiculous.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
8? That's got to be
It has. I don't know what the record is, but it has to be either close.
Come down here. Come over here, wherever you're at.
Todd Polietz, if you're listening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Todd's probably right here.
Todd knows in his sleep. You can call him at midnight. Oh, yeah, this guy.
That's true. Sorry, Hunt. You've been retired. Todd, you
call
in.
Of Dylan Volantis getting freshman of the year. I mean, I didn't
He's
realize.
Been good. He's got the best ERA. He's saved a bunch of games, but
100%.
An everyday player, though.
Derek Curiel hitting 344.
I know. I'm taking the everyday player every time over a closer.
He's a closer, and he's going to give you, he's going to let you get the game that you have, locked in. But I 100% agree with you and Taylor. You got to take Derek Curiel, the everyday player who's on-base percentage is ridiculous. He's literally had a, 43-game streak?
43-game streak. His on-base percentage is .465. He's batting .344, 45 RBIs. What?
And Dylan Volantis is great as a closer. I'm taking that over Dylan Volantis.
For sure.
Well, we talk about his patience as a freshman. He's walked 41 times.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of the getting on base streak. At the top of your lineup as a freshman.
And how many clutch hits has he had too?
Yeah.
Where pressure's been on, weight of the world on your shoulders, and he's delivered.
He ain't a slouch in the outfield
You go through
either.
every coach in the SEC, all 16. And you say, which freshman would you want on your team of anybody in the SEC? I don't even know that another player is going to get a vote. And I believe that. And there's some names out there that people can toss out there and have a conversation. That's y'all's conversation because mine's closed.
Yeah, mine is too. Give me Derek Curiel.
Yep, every single time. So, look, again, not that big of a deal, and they got it recognized, but not in the way that I personally thought they should have because, I mean, their numbers and them being on the number one team in the country and them delivering in those big moments. Taylor, you have to hit 99 on your YouTube mobile app for us to continue to watch Alabama and Missouri. So let's go ahead and hit that, see if we can
I don't know if that's on my YouTube account.
Okay, we don't know whose YouTube that is. It says connected to iPhone TC.
Who's TC?
I mean.
TC.
I'll log in during break.
Another dragnet situation that we've got here.
TC?
All right, we will take our final break of the show. Just another programming reminder for tomorrow's show while we've got y'all. LSU defensive coordinator Blake Baker will join us at 8 a.m. and maybe Flynn shows up. I don't even know what that situation is now that he typically comes in 8 o'clock on Wednesdays. It'd actually be a good time for him to maybe fire off some questions to the LSU defensive coordinator. So we'll see if we can update you there. One final segment. Get your questions in. Ask the bench to wrap up this Tuesday morning edition of OTB.
Off the bench.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Buying new, leasing, or if you are renting, everything, and we do mean everything, is available. So if you're looking for a new vehicle, they've got so many different options. You see it if you're watching on YouTube, midsize, full-size SUV. They've got the Sienna minivan. You can get it murdered out if you want to, like T-Bob. You can get a sedan. You can get a hybrid. You can get multiple trucks, Tacoma, Tundra. I've had both. They are incredible. Every option, right? Not just one. multiple in everything that they offer there. Leasing as well. Everything that you can buy new, you can lease. Everything that you can lease, you can rent. Again, you're not going to find that. Like typically like leasing, here's like 5 options, maybe. Renting, here's like, okay, you get 1 car, 1 SUV, maybe you get a truck. Not the case over at All-Star. Everything is always available. Call our girl, Miss Lisa Sessions, today to get that rental reserved. AllStarToyotaBatonRouge.com.
Baton Rouge is home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business is
This is Off the Bench.
Breaking my back just to know your name. 17 tracks and I've had it with this game. I'm breaking my back just to know your name. But heaven ain't close in a place like this.
All right, welcome back in. One final segment here on OTB. Ask the Bench. Ask the Bench. Ryan Clark versus RG3. Who you got?
RG3.
That is something that we have not, we didn't dive into because it's just not something
Who cares?
We do here. Just
It's stupid anyway.
I really don't know anything about it. All that I did see, like I don't
All
know.
I saw was what T-Bob sent and then what I sent y'all back about.
And then I clicked on
Yeah.
that, and RG3 had like a novel, and I'm like, my dog, I ain't reading all that.
It was very long, yeah.
I am.
And then he
not
put out
reading
like
all
a
that.
3.5 minute video too.
Did he really? Like,
Mm.
yeah. Congrats, or I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah.
I ain't reading all that.
I ain't reading all that.
There ain't no chance. Yeah, so I don't even, like, I know the drama kind of surface level, but I have not done a deep dive into it.
I don't think either could fight for what it's worth.
That's the bench. So should I pee on Jake's car if I ever see him in public? Might as well. I mean, why not?
Might as well.
Jeez.
Might as well.
It comes off easier than what you did deal with.
Ask the bench. Is Jake too gritty for butt wipes? No, dude wipes are great. Ask the bench. Will you watch every inning of the SEC tournament?
I'll try to watch every game. I don't know about every inning, though.
I can't watch every single inning, but no.
Traveling tomorrow, so probably not.
It will be background fodder for sure.
Yeah.
Tay, where are you going?
We're going to Gulf Shores.
Oh. Just figured you were going to Branson.
Cleveland?
I don't really understand how y'all don't realize where I went from. I didn't go. I flew into Cleveland. That was it.
I mean, you kind of went to Cleveland.
I mean, that was it.
Yeah, you kind of went. Ask the bench, stand up to wipe or sit down to wipe? Stand up to wipe? What?
Who does that?
Who does that? Is that a thing?
Just
do
standing up.
you bend over once you stand up? How does this work?
I don't know. How do you make sure you got up in there? Do you prop a leg up? I don't know. Ask the bench, best car wash to get human poop off my rims. I would say go to Benny's. Benny's is pretty legit. I'd say go to Benny's.
Shout out
Ask the
Benny's.
bench, favorite Hoover announcers. Always going to be Ben McDonald. Always going to be Chris Burke. Love Berkey. Great dude. I'll throw Tom Hart a bone here. I guess, sort of. Tom Hart, I kind of like you, whatever. All right. Blake Baker tomorrow. We'll see you.
Off the bench.
All right, go to GoTommies.com, Geaux, Tommies.com. That is Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, right? And we tell you all the time, but if you don't want to trust us, right, you just want to do the research for yourself, they have won the Angie's List Super Service Award in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, and so on and so forth. Like, you get the idea, right? That's what kind of work you're going to get with them. And so if you want to check out what they can do for you, you go to that website, GoTommies.com, top right corner of the website, click on a gallery of work, right? That this is projects and things that they have done here already in the greater Baton Rouge area. But also remember, they can customize your project. If you're looking for something that nobody else has, Tommy and the team, they'll come out, they'll do exactly that. You can find all that information again at GoTommies.com. That phone number, if you want to pick up the phone, give them a call. That's 225-250-8808.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be